All right, Hard Yarners.
Welcome back.
Welcome to Hard Yarns
Welcome
Podcast.
to the Hard Yarns Podcast.
That name, that sound bite that you normally hear at the start, that is Cam, and I make reference to that at the very start of the episode.
Blows my mind.
But before we get into this episode and who we're talking about and what we're doing, this episode is brought to you by alltradescover.com.au. If you're watching at home, you can see it behind Cam right now. All Trades Cover, they are the insurance company that will trade you if you're a tradie, specifically in the trades. If you're a small business or a big business, I'm sure they're going to be able to cover you and be competitive with anyone that they can. So if you have some sort of insurance and it's about to drop out and finish, just go over to them. They'll hopefully be very competitive, and then it helps us.
So competitive.
Yeah.
They're so good. I checked them out once just for fun, and I almost started a business. That's how I was like, yeah, the coverage for so good. I might as well start being a plumber.
Oh, classic. And we have been getting feedback that they've been very easy to work with and deal with. So they're very accommodating. So get around alltradescover.com.au. Also, this episode is brought to you by Kahuna Golf. I played golf yesterday, actually, at Joondalup Resort. Quite nice. All the Kahuna stuff.
I heard you weren't playing well until you put on your Kahuna hat, and then all of a sudden, bam!
Well, I took it off briefly, is what I did for a moment, just to wipe my brow, and I hit the ball, and it was terrible.
See?
Yep. And then I put it back on, and then I was back.
Yeah, the big Kahuna power.
Yeah, no, it's good. And yesterday, like, if you ever see me at the gym, I see a lot of people that listen to the podcast now at the gym, and they come up and say hello, or I see them in the sauna. So if you see me wearing a hoodie, it's because I'm wearing the Kahuna hoodie. That's my one that I work out in. Ooh. If I'm wearing a hoodie. If not, I'm wearing a t-shirt. But if I'm wearing a hoodie, it's that. Or I'm jogging and I'm wearing a hoodie, it's the Kahuna hoodie. You're supposed to wear it for golf, but I wear it for all exercise.
And if he's kissing, he wears the Kahuna hoodie. Gives him extra kiss powers.
It's bloody good. So they have a code word, HardYarns15, for 15% off. So type that in, and we've got some exciting stuff happening with them in the future. A couple of corporate days, golf days, so you can come play, Cam.
Yeah, I'll cheer you on.
But today we were joined by Cam McLaren, Delby's surrogate replacement for the last 3 months. And then
when Delby comes on, you'll never see me again until next
he'll be back. But it was a good chat today. What did we start with? We started with AFL.
Yeah, dove into that.
So we did the AFL for a bit. Sorry about that if you're not interested in AFL and the footy in the finals. But after that, we got into mysteries.
Yeah, we started talking about just different things, just the world and how it's skewy.
Yeah, we both read through about 3 or 4 mysteries each. And I think we went on a little bit of a tangent on social media and censorship and totalitarian governments, and I think something else, ancient Mayans.
I feel like we derailed a lot. I could see it in your eyes when I started talking, and you're like, "Oh no, I'm ruining it."
I was
getting all excited about the dumbest thing.
No, it was bloody good. I love that episode. You're going to love it. So enjoy the episode, and let's get hard.
Thanks for playing Gets Hard. Boo, boo, boo.
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast. I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host,
Daniel Delby.
And Cameron Branch.
I would do this, and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get hard.
Recording. Beautiful. Hi, Cam.
Hey, Cam.
Cam and Cam's Excellent Adventure.
Welcome to the Cam Show.
Oh, I love it. Do you know you're on at the start of every episode?
Really? What do you mean?
The intro music.
Yeah.
So every single episode when it starts, which they've just listened to, it goes, "Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast." That's you.
I'm the Nate Diaz of this podcast.
Are you? Yes.
That's awesome. What a time to be alive. That's actually made my day.
Oh, it's
we
so
can
good.
end recording now. I might go home.
100%. I love
Darty.
it. How's things anyway, Cam? You going well? How do you feel after the Dockers?
Sad.
I'm sorry to start with sad.
No, I'm going to be brutally honest about it, because
go.
like I was there with my nephew in that last game. We had annoying people behind us. Like we watched the thing, and we had the season in our hand. I was there. Everyone's coming up cheering when we had a chance to get in the finals, and then we didn't make it, and everyone was so sad and gutted. I just felt, I'm like, yeah, It's been 30 years. We've never won the flag. Like, I'm not sad that we didn't win the flag, but I thought we did. I know this is what's so crazy. I genuinely think we can do it.
Now, I, in jest, tried to wind you up a while ago that Freo are the worst team to be at number 3 in the competition. But now I'm going to make it. I'm going to go the other way. Freo are the best team not to make finals in the last 20 or 30 years.
That seems so much better. But do you know what I think it might do? It might set a fire in them. You think of how much talent they got. They must have pride. Like, they would be angry. People like Sarong and stuff. You have a season like that, you'd be so mad at your teammates. You'd be like, what the fuck happened?
And it comes down to games they should have won.
Dude, but that's the shoulda, wouldas and stuff. But then you got those 2 dodgy games in Adelaide and a draw. That changes everything. But it's also like, what about the games we got pumped? Like, you know what I mean? Or like, there's also, but either way, I think the alarming thing is that West Coast, that derby, what happened in that first derby where we got obliterated in the midfield, and you're kind of like, oh, that's kind of what happened every time things went bad. It was like, don't you reckon? Like, so that was like either way. I'm so excited for next year. Is my point. That's how they've got us.
It seemed like towards the end of that game. And sorry for people who are here for the mysteries. We've got the mysteries coming later.
Yeah,
but
the mystery is why I keep coming back.
I want to quickly talk about the AFL because it's exciting this week. But the thing I noticed in that game, and I noticed this with the Dockers a fair bit, is as it was getting quite tough and very, like, they were fucking going hard. Both teams were going hard.
We had a chance.
But individuals were going hard and they were trying to be the difference themselves instead of sticking to a structure that they know got them there. And so when you're trying your hardest, you can sometimes fuck up your team structures. And I think that's the discipline.
But isn't that what makes people get over the, like,
you
know what I mean? Like, there was so many moments where Sun got so near the ball in that last quarter. I'm like, here it is. Yeah. What a hero. And then it was like fumble or something. And nothing on him, the amount of pressure that was happening and stuff.
But it's almost
it's like, you need that hero to stand up.
I agree. So I'm not saying you can't do that.
Sarong had those 3 kicks. If one of them goes through, we'd make him statue for him.
Sonny's one of the perfect examples. Like, you could see how much he was trying to have an impact instead of like, or potentially maybe him holding back and creating room and space for someone might have actually.
It must be someone's job though to do that.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. So I don't know their game plan perfectly, but yeah, when you see it completely change to just like manic ball. It was very fucking good to watch.
It was so it's
desperate to watch.
At the end of the day, right? It's entertainment, right? And I bought my memberships. I get 2 memberships because I always dreamed of it as a kid to be able to go to the games. And now that I can, I'm like, I'm going twice. No, I just always bring a friend who never goes. Try to get them into it. I'm just trying to indoctrinate people.
That's good.
But so I love it, and then, like, I got my money's worth this year. I had a heap of good games. I had it. Everyone's like, oh, they're so disappointed. Blah blah blah. It's like, whatever, man. Like, grow up. Like this, I made the wrong decision when I'm a kid. If I'm going to be that sad about it, it's like every other team I liked has won multiple flags since then. So it's not about that. I love the club. I love the players. I genuinely believe we're going to win it next year. Wow. It's my mental illness. Because I feel this at the end of every season. Like, next year's the year, bro.
I think that's everyone for the Dockers for the last 30 years.
I'm going to be an 80-year-old man being like, yo, how am I not dead?
Yeah, but it leaves some juicy games.
Dude, the finals is lit up.
It's... look, I'll be blunt. I've not enjoyed football this season, like, too much.
Every West Coast supporter.
Actually, for the last 2 years. Well, yeah, West Coast. And being a West Coast supporter has definitely added to that. You know, when your team's not doing great, you're sort of less interested in results. But I am a fan of football when it's good, fun football and high-quality football. And it's gotten to that point where you got some very good challenges any week now.
Yeah.
So I've watched the last few weeks because footy has become interesting again because any team can beat anyone, which is fucking great for football.
Well, that's why I've gotten into betting. I know it sounds so bad. I'm definitely not advertising that you should do it.
Yeah.
You, rein it in, because there's all these good games happening, and I don't genuinely have any emotion towards it unless it's Freo playing.
Yeah.
But then when you're watching like Hawthorn, North Melbourne, you can spend $50 in $5 10 little multis. You get your $50 back. One of them will hit. You can't be that dumb at football. You know what I mean? You just have to pick someone to kick a goal, someone to get touches, and someone to win. Just pick something like that. It just makes the game so much more interesting. So I found all these games where I was like, they're actually exciting now because I'm like, hey, I need so-and-so to get the ball one more time. I know that it's not making it, I don't know. It's just how I'm started watching more games this year.
100%. But yeah, so you look at like the Bulldogs Hawthorn game, that is juicy.
Insane.
That is so exciting. I'm actually quite happy either way. I'm a bit of a Bulldogs fan, ish. I love Bontempelli. I'm not a fan of Beveridge.
No. Yeah, well, I don't know. I
don't know. Like sometimes I am a fan of Beveridge, like fucking staunch, but he seems
loves
a
his
bit
players,
odd.
eh?
And a couple of mates that I know within the AFL system, including players that played for Bulldogs, don't speak too fondly of him. Says he's a fucking weird cat.
Right, because he seems like a weird cat.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting then, like, just, I don't know, I like the narrative of footy, like footy's the storyline of it, and you look in the past and everything seems like it's so obvious. Of course that's going to happen. Of course the Tigers thing after this and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then, like, so you look at it this year and like, well, what's the story supposed to be? Is it the Cats get up again out of nowhere? And it's like, well, of course they were. They have, like, all the experience, all the Dogs, they clearly have been there and about since 2016 when they won it out of nowhere.
They had a poor season last year.
Yeah, and that midfield, like you know what I mean? Like, Treloar is insane.
Yeah.
And the fact that they don't even pay for him.
Yeah.
Like, the Collingwood's paying for him.
Yeah.
Look, what?
What's that Moneyball thing?
Yeah.
You're paying me $7 million a year, so yeah, I am special. No, I'm paying you $3.5 million. The Yankees are paying the other half. I love that. That's how much they think of you.
Yes.
They're paying you $3.5 million to play against us. But no, that's right. Yeah, Bulldogs are insane. Like everywhere, there are midfielders everywhere.
Look, I don't want to be that guy. But
Be the guy.
In the history of footy, and I'm sorry for anyone else that doesn't care about it, they invented the father-son rule because of Barassi. Because he was supposed to, when they put up the regional things like clubs, you get these people.
Really?
His dad, who was a Melbourne guy.
Yep.
Like, he was supposed to go to Collingwood.
Yep.
So they entered a thing being like, no, this icon, there's a father-son, and there's this beautiful spiritual thing between the father. But then you look at all these dominating lists, like, and we're talking like Geelong's crazy thing.
Yeah.
Even Collingwood popping up. Like, the Doggies this year, there's a thread of father sons. There is a thread, and like it's just the beauty of the thing, and that's just how it is and stuff. But you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you get the quality footy player for no other sport has it.
Look at Darcy.
Do you think Darcy, if Darcy was, or even like with Jamara Ugle-Hagan and stuff? No, he's not a father son, but that was like academy.
Yeah.
But we added all these levels to it to try to even it out, but then to mix it, and then you also have like this. And then it's just the luck of the game. St Kilda been around a foundation club 150 years. Not one of their champions have had sons. Every one of their champions has daughters. So it's just unlucky. They've never had a father-son. So the rule shit for them.
Yeah.
And then Geelong, their entire premiership list, half of them were
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Dacos has gone for nothing. Or like, Darcy, they wouldn't have been able to pick up these. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or it just changes
It's
when how
interesting.
tight you said the competition is and how intense it is and how it's the biggest sport in the country. And then you've got things like that really makes it. Like, what the fuck is that? You try to explain that to like a hardcore Yankees fan.
Is
and
the
it's like there's a
sequel-
father-son rule. They'll
Is
be
the
like, what?
sequel ever as good as the original? I mean, Gary Ablett Jr. was fucking
Way better. In
was
fact,
better.
it kind of makes sense because even though father-son with the Bulldogs, I kind of like that Bulldogs team in the 90s was so good.
Oh yeah.
They should have got Brownlows, but then he was fucking
Liberatore
suspended and
and-
stuff. Or
yeah.
like they should have got premierships. Or Scotty West getting so close every time. You know
so
what I
good.
mean? The smiling assassin Johnson getting nearly 400 games. Like all that team, and even in the early 2000s, how they were always in the prelims. The Dogs were always there and about. They finally get one in 2016.
Yeah.
Why not get one now and made of father sons? All the sons of the players that never won themselves. That's cool.
Interesting fact about the Bulldogs. My former coach, and he went on to be a coach for a long time at South Freo after West Perth. But Todd Curley used to play for Western Bulldogs. First player to ever get suspended for running into an umpire. There's a
On purpose,
there's a
or?
trivia question for you. Who was the first player to ever be suspended for running into an umpire? And knowing Todd, probably probably
of course
was
it's
on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a fiery sort of individual. But mate, that game is going to be incredible, I think, because it's fucking exciting.
I hope it's a
Where is it?
shootout.
Is it at Marvel or
The McG, isn't it?
is it MCG? Surely.
I thought that was the whole thing, like when they were, people were sooking about something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
I
I'm-
literally switched off as soon as that siren went, and I'm walking with my nephew out of the stadium. I started looking at my NFL fantasy. I completely switched off.
I'd make an assumption that it would be that Marvel is Bulldogs' quote unquote home ground,
Yes.
and they're the The top.
and then the Hawks.
Hawks are actually 8th. So is that where they finished? 8th?
I think higher, wasn't
7th, maybe it's 6th versus 7th, whatever that. Right? Yeah, 6th versus 7th.
But the guy's like, yeah, but once you get 90,000 at the MCG, it'll be fine. But it's also like, do the Dogs I think it's going to be.
And they won't. Yeah, it'll be like Hawthorn are one of the biggest clubs in the AFL, so they will have 70,000 to 30,000 supporters. So it'll be a home game for Hawthorn. So I get their anger in that.
Yeah.
But, anyway,
did you know that? Sorry, did you know if you win the premiership, you get like $1.5 million prize money?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah,
as a football club.
Yeah, and I don't know whether that gets distributed to the players or if that, because I think it should.
I know players get like bonuses. Like if you play in a winning premiership, you get like a bonus, and if you place a certain spot within the best and fairest or the AFL Brownlow, you get bonuses as well.
Yeah, but isn't that all contractual?
Yeah,
sometimes?
that's individual.
I think that's how the club should. Like, you look at things like Hawthorn. No wonder they have such a dope training ground and stuff. Like, you've won like 4 flags. You got an extra $6 million or whatever.
Yeah,
$1.5 million a pop. But then also imagine that for your culture. You win your first flag. You want everyone to stay together. You just split the $1.5 million with the 18 players.
Mate, even if
stay forever. I love you.
If Hawthorn are to like win over the next couple of years,
I'm quitting footy. I'm done.
Like,
fuck them.
Like how?
Every 3 years they win a flag. What's fucking wrong with this competition? And they wear blue and yellow.
So what were they? They were 9? Were they 9? Did they win 9 or was that Geelong?
What do you mean?
2009? Sorry?
2008.
2008?
2008 they won it. They were out in 2009 and 10. And I think they came back in 2011.
2011 they beat the Dockers? No.
And then 2012 they were in the grand final. They lost to Sydney.
Oh, yeah. 2011 was Hawthorn. It was Geelong.
Collingwood.
2012 they played Sydney.
And they lost. And then 2013 they beat us. 14 was...
Who was 14?
Sydney again, wasn't it?
Yeah,
because Buddy was in it. Because Buddy was now playing for Sydney. So 2014 and they beat Sydney.
And then they beat the
Eagles for the 3-peat.
Wow. And so that's...
And then 16 out of the finals, and then they were only gone for like 3 or 4 years. And then
they're back in. And
everyone's like, oh, how dare you get rid of Alistair Clarkson and get in this genius Sam Mitchell.
Fuck. So that's going to be tasty. Geelong Port. Fuck knows.
Only because of how annoying the Port Adelaide supporter was behind me. Yeah. I thought Port Adelaide go in straight sets by 120 points. I hope they get obliterated.
I honestly think my two scariest outcomes for a grand final, as in I am not interested, is Geelong. Well, Geelong versus anyone. Geelong versus Port. I would be just I got no.
Yuck.
I despise Geelong, but I got nothing for Port. I don't hate. I just got nothing. Boak. Yeah. I like Travis Boak.
Yeah, I love Travis Boak.
That's something. If in desperation I have to support Port against Geelong, I'll support that somehow. That's and Port Brisbane, Geelong Brisbane. Nah,
couldn't be fucked.
I just nothing again with Brisbane. Nothing. I got no hate, no love.
I would love for my best friend Lockie Neal to get a flag, and then he can come home.
I can't. There's nothing.
Yeah,
I can't,
but even then,
there's no. I don't hate them, but I don't like them. There's just There's just nothing. Do you know what? The only thing I can hold on to is my best mate's son, Burnsy. His son Jimmy loves Brisbane, and maybe I could get around that because he'll be with us in Bali when we're watching. That'd be the only way.
Yeah.
That's it.
A lot of mine is colour related.
Yeah, colour related.
Like I don't get the
Could
jersey.
You imagine
shit.
Brisbane Port? That would be just
in the teal. No way.
Sensory fucking nightmare.
Even the Dogs though, the red, white, and blue. Sorry, America, but like it's not a cool. Like on NHL on the hockey I play on the PlayStation. I really like playing as the Rangers, but I hate that they're the red, white. And, it's just yuck. It's just a yuck colour. Sorry, West Perth boy. But.
No, I get it. Then we've got the Sydney GWS, the Derby. That is fucking incredible.
Spicy.
And we were talking about it before, GWS's social media at the moment. GWS can't. They're doing no wrong at the moment.
It's so good. It's such a smart idea too, considering like what you got to.
Just
it's how do you
lean
do
into
it? I've always wondered, how do you grow an AFL club? Because I feel like, especially in WA, you're either West Coast or Freo, and it's literally based on who you grow up around. And then it's also your personality type. Everyone around me was West Coast, and because I'm such a petty, like nonchalant, I picked Freo just to spite you. I went for Ford because everyone went for Holden. Like it was really that's where it was born out of. So it's like, how do you grow an AFL club from nothing? And that's how they did it. You get a great social media team, you get a great marketing team, and you make it fun.
Yeah.
You make them like every time they do a game, they post memes and they take the piss out of other clubs. And like, if you're a neutral supporter, you're like, fucking, they're pretty cool.
Yes.
And if you get into the sport, you're like, hey, this is a fun, cool team.
It's fucking good point.
It's
Whatever
such a,
they're
it's
doing,
such a
it's
smart
working.
idea on how do you grow a team.
And even when they made the grand final 2 or 3 years ago, you know, there's a big sound.
And those memes, I still play it. At my quizzes, I play it.
So good. It's the best.
The only fuck up I'd say is that they didn't organise enough merch when they played here in Perth. Like, we went to their final here in Perth, and all I wanted was a fucking GWS scarf. And for the life of you, couldn't find any. And you're like, but I guess it's also was COVID and manufacturing. But it's like, come on, dudes.
So GWS, and then what's the other one? Carlton and Brisbane. Come on, let the lids off.
I hope Brisbane pump them.
Mate.
I hope they pump them.
What?
Yeah, man, I hate Carlton.
I'm a big Carlton.
Why?
Ba-da-ba-da.
Do you know what it is? They're the last team that... So when we were kids, Freo was shit, and there was a bunch of shit teams around us.
Yeah.
Since then, every one of those shit teams have popped up and done something, except for Carlton. They're the only other shit team. They cannot do something before Freo.
I get that.
They're not getting up before us. Fuck
look,
Carlton. They're not taking half our players and then winning a flag. No.
So Carlton, for me... I love their song. It's my favourite song in the AFL.
Really?
Yeah, just there's something about singing it. I don't know.
It's the what?
Yeah.
You are such a... We are. And it's such a lie.
The Navy Blues.
We're the team that never lets you down. You only let me down. Like, my whole life you're being poo, and now I want you to be poo, and you're winning. You've only ever disappointed me, Carlton.
When I went to the elimination final, I think it was last year, Sydney versus Geelong versus Carlton at the MCG.
Oh, yeah.
It's my first game at the MCG. It's a good,
Really?
sold out, fucking very good experience, and
Hell
down to the wire, like won by 5-6 points.
Right at the end.
Right at the end.
Dubious.
Akers kicked away and did
So
really,
exciting.
It was fucking
I
awesome.
love Akers.
And
I
then
love all ex-Freo players. I like my grandsons.
and as the siren went, getting fucking just
Insane.
And the crowd after walking around at the MCG.
There's nothing like it, eh?
The week after, I was in Italy, and so I missed this one, but even better. Like, it was, they beat Melbourne. Like, with 5 seconds left, they kicked in front. So even a better one. So I think in one I watched, Sydney got to within the goal away, or within a goal from winning, and then Carlton held on. Whereas this one was Melbourne were in front and Carlton kicked to get in front with 10, 15 seconds left. It was
crazy.
That was incredible. That would be another level to be at. But
it's weird how that excites your love for a club, though. Hey,
100%, and just feeling that, and then I love Gorringe's stuff that he's been doing.
Oh yeah, when the lid's off and stuff.
When the lids get So
that's fun, man.
I do love seeing a big Melbourne club in finals.
Yeah.
And as much as I hate the big Melbourne clubs, I love it as well for the vibe.
There's nothing like that. That's the thing. Like my first experience with the MCG was the same to you. Like it was Judd's first game for Carlton, and we were on the top tier. And I walked out. We were late because it was such a fuck around. And I walked out after the first tap, and Judd got the ball, and the place erupted. And I swear it was like a wall of sound hit me.
Yeah.
That was like walking into heaven, walking into the MCG, filled to the gills, and just like. Nothing like it in my life. And then I went to like an Anzac Day game where that Collingwood won.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like it. As much as you want to say it, like you said, the 100,000 people all happy or angry or passionate, it's insane.
I'm so glad
cauldron.
that was that I did that, because the year before earlier that year I went to the MCG, but for a Big Bash game. There's like 20,000 people there.
Lame.
And it was a shit game. It was like I watch Big Bash, and there's like games that are exciting. There is games that you know who the winner is going to be with the last 4 or 5 overs, and this one was just shit.
Yeah,
so the first team, can't remember. I think it was Stars versus Renegades,
Yeah.
and end up being like a derby. I was like, sick, this is going to be good. Fuck all people there, and then one of the teams hit away like really slowly, and then the other team just chased it down.
Yeah, what the
like within 11 overs, and they just sort of like blocked runs, and I was like, this is my first experience at the MCG.
That's actually disgusting.
I was so upset, and then
How much did it feel like a completely different place?
totally redeemed yourselves. Yeah, it was so good.
That
It's incredible. Yeah, like when it's full, even at 60, 70,000.
yeah, it's such a vibe, especially if it's a banging game. Like
I couldn't. That's why I mean, like a Carlton Hawthorn, like. Those are two. Who else are the big Melbourne
Hawthorn's
clubs?
not that big of a club though. They don't get the numbers, man.
Oh, well, that's because they've been shit, but they're starting to again.
I don't know. At their height, I went to the Anzac Day, not the Anzac, the Easter Monday ones. I don't know. I always thought
They got
that
one of the biggest memberships,
Do
70
they?
or 80,000. Yeah,
no, most of them are over 120 in Melbourne. Essendon, Carlton,
Actually-
Collingwood. They're
Actually-
in the hundos. Richmond.
yeah, maybe it is over. I know Eagles are they the biggest? Are the Eagles the biggest or close to?
I'm not sure. Do they
We're
still
over
count
100.
baby and dog memberships?
I don't know. I think we got over 100, but yeah, I don't know. What's your ideal grand final
For this, my ideal grand final is anyone that Freo wins. TBH.
in this final series?
This one for sure. I don't know. I like the Dogs. I like the Dogs Brisbane. I know that sounds so boring from a marketing perspective, from an aesthetic perspective.
Yep.
But then at least it would be one of those days that like Bont gets one and he deserves to be a dual. I don't like the idea of Rory Love getting one though. That's crazy. What kind of world do we live in? This is mental. But I want Lockie Neal to get one. But then it's also they're going to get the number 1 draft pick again next year with the next Ashcroft. So it's like, do I want them to win this and start another 3-peat on the Queensland? I don't like the idea of GWS getting one, even though I really like them and I love the club and stuff.
Yep.
Swans would be cool. It maybe makes Chad Warner easier to pry out. I know I'm so biased with it, but I genuinely don't care. It would upset me if Port won. That's the
Yes.
only one where if they won it, I'd be like, yuck.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
If Geelong are in it, I'll be.
Why do you hate the Cats? Is it just because of you've had
some
yours?
of their supporters and boring, just boring.
What's
They're boring to watch.
Oh, okay.
Just boring. They're just boring.
You're
They're
boring.
slow. Like, I get it. As a supporter, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck if they're boring to watch. Like, they're good.
Yeah, win's a win.
Yeah. But they're boring, man. Boring.
Also,
You're
the
boring.
colours are boring.
Oh,
Blue and white.
everything. Like, everything's dull and grey. You got to, what's it called? GMMBH or whatever?
Yeah.
Skilled.
It always makes me
Shell.
Cardinia.
Cardinia Park, yeah.
Did you know they used to have the same song as North Melbourne? There's a fun fact for you.
What?
Yeah, I was looking up a thing because I've got something wrong with me, and I was
Yeah.
looking up club songs, and there's a YouTube thing, and it's like the club songs from the 60s, and it's just it's an old recording or whatever, and it has it, and it's the same song. The join in the chorus and sing it one and all.
Yeah.
It's the same, like this. And I always wondered, like, was it always called Cardinia? That's why the Cats song mentions Cardinia Park, which was called that in like the 70s or whatever. And
Yeah, so they just changed it.
yeah.
Huh.
Weird, hey.
That's pretty crazy.
Silly gooses.
Nice little fact. I think my ideal grand final will
Yeah, who's
be
yours?
GWS Carlton. Then I don't care who wins.
Ooh, and there'll be 100.
I
Neutral.
could
Grand
get
finals
around-
are kind of neutral.
And I could get around them both.
Yeah.
Like just because you'd have, I think the thing is you'd have the big Melbourne club, Carlton, but then you'd have the rest of the rest go for GWS. So you'd have a good polarization of crowd, like 50-50.
It would be nice that like Collingwood wouldn't be the most successful club of all time. Do you know what I mean? Because at the moment they're all drawn on 16.
Oh,
the three
okay.
of them are drawn on 16, but Collingwood also has the most grand final losses.
Yeah.
So you can kind of argue that makes them the best team. But if Carlton just pops up and has 17 flags, you're
Yeah.
kind of like, well, they've got more wins, they're the best. You know what I mean? It just kind of it keeps the rivalry alive because right now it's kind of like, well, competition's rigged.
I'd love to see Hawthorn in there somehow, but only if they could win it.
Yeah.
If they didn't win it, like it'd be like this all for nothing. It'd be as long as it's a good game. To be honest, I'm
Get
going
a
to
bit
be
of
in Bali
statue if
about
he wins
15
it.
bintans deep. So
Oh, okay, you're going to be done skiing.
I'm going to be done ski. I got a babysitter that day for Scotty. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, that's good. Little AFL wrap up, little recap.
Oh, yeah, thanks for listening. Bye, guys.
What else has been going on? You going well?
Yeah, just business, man. Just hardcore business all the time, busy.
With what with the quizzes,
Yeah, man. We're non-stop now, which is really good.
mate. Throw a brother a quiz.
I try to, but
I know.
you're
I'm
often
always
busy
busy.
doing dumb stuff.
I know.
I pay good. My quizzes are the biggest.
It's
They're
like
the
parents,
best. They're
just
the
like
most
parenting.
fun. Yeah, you're always like, oh, I've got my daughter today. She
fuck.
wouldn't want to go to Peel for that. Like, whatever, man. Teach her to host, and I feel like this would be so much easier.
Yeah. But I don't know.
it's good.
I'm loving the quizzes.
It's good,
I
dude. I'm loving running my own company. It's the best thing ever. Like, you work non-stop all the time, which
Yeah.
is kind of like, hey, this is weird. But also, like, is it really work? Like,
Yeah.
it's all just for your own stuff.
But we do have some mysteries.
Yeah, tell me a mystery. Let's get
Would you like
mysterious.
me to start?
Yeah.
Have you brought some mysteries today?
Yeah, so I got stuck in a little rabbit hole.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, can I tell you about them?
Yeah, explain.
What do you reckon about like past lives?
Oh, okay. So I don't know if you know this. I'm doing a past life regression in 2 weeks.
How?
And then he's coming on the day after and we're going to unpack.
So you're legit like. So I've been reading. That's this little rabbit hole I got stuck in, and all the stories seem to be about people whose kids are 3, and then just casually talking about their past life and using. The thing that gets me is the stories where the kid will use a slang term or something that it's like, well, that's weird. Why would they? You know what I mean? Like one of them was saying, "Oh, I used to drive a cab back here in the 70s." And
Yes.
it's like, why would your 4-year-old say the 70s?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, but every single story, they're always between like 2.5, 4, and I'm like, well, that's weird. Why is that? And then I just got into stuck of that rabbit hole of like all the kids saying random shit.
Did you find the one where the kid was able to go to, and I don't know how true this is. This could be one of those urban myths, but the one where the past life had come up in this child's memories of where they got murdered, took them to the country, the different country that they got murdered in, took them to the spot, dug up the bones, found there was a kid, showed her where they were stabbed, and it was all.
Oh my God.
Now it's a bit of an urban myth,
I did
and
not
maybe
get
we
to
could
that
look
one.
into that one further.
Yeah.
But
No, mine are stuff like when it's like, hey, I used to be the daddy
Nah,
to you
yeah.
one day. And you like describe their yellow house they had when they were a kid. And you're like, wow, how did he do that?
But it got to the point where this freaked out the murderer so much that the murderer got found guilty for and admitted it and was like, yeah, this is exactly what's happened. The kid pointed out who the murderer was, everything, and they
What?
they were weirded out by it. So
That's cool.
I would like to know if that's just an urban myth. Or I've read that one several times though. So
Yeah.
sometimes you start going, oh, is this a real one? So I might actually dig into that one at some point, whether or not that's
it makes more sense for the past life. Do you literally go from one to the next one though, right? But like, how long do you stay in the holding pattern before you come back, or why do you come back?
Well, I seen last night on TikTok, of course. I take it with a pinch of salt. Where there's a little kid, and the mum is filming the little kid, and the kid is saying, "I'm your daddy," not in a. But the little kid is saying, "I'm your daddy." When your daddy died, it came into me, and I'm now your dad. And
That's what a lot of them are like.
and explained a few things of like, you know, and it was very wholesome, but who knows.
Yeah, but that's the ones where I'm just like,
When they're so young and they're saying that?
yeah, but it's how intense they are, and it seems to be a lot of those circular patterns.
Yeah, because
and
there's
they're coming back again and stuff.
there's
So-
nothing in a child to suggest for them to suggest it.
no.
Like they're 3 and 4, barely able to grasp the English language, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, I used to be this person and have a job here," and quite detailed, and you're like,
Crazy. The one that made me laugh though, because I'm like, if you made this up, you're a bit of a jerk.
yes,
And she was like, it was like 2005, 2004 or whatever, and a little 3-year-old was just sitting there one day, and it's like, I'll show you how I died. And she's like, what? And he was like, he built 2 towers with his Legos, and then he smashed it down with his hands.
oh
Wait.
my god,
And she didn't think anything of it. She's like, that's great. Like, he's just mucking around.
Yeah.
And then like 6 months later, they went to New York for the first time, and he started having like a full-on freak out. And they couldn't calm him down. And like, he's like 3-year-old or whatever. But she was like, it was just weird. And like, it just threw her back. Like he was having the weirdest fucking freaking out in the car and she couldn't calm down and stuff. And it's like, imagine if that's what that is about. But like,
I think it is.
Oh,
fucking hell.
it's creepy, hey.
Oh.
But just that, I mean, your kid looks at you, I'll show you how I died, and then builds 2 towers and smashes one. You're like, what?
Should we listen to creepy music as we tell these?
Yeah.
Should we? Or does that...
Who's
is that-
creepy? Billie Eilish.
Or is that or is that no good for if I want to clip these up? It's probably
Yeah,
no good.
yeah.
We can add the...
If you're listening raw, just imagine creepy music. If you're raw in this podcast.
All right, I have a bit of a mystery. This one's the mass bird suicides of Jacinta. Oh, no, sorry. Jatinga. So that's sorry.
Jacinta.
The mass bird suicides of Jatinga in India. Have you heard anything about this sort of mystery?
About mass bird suicides. No, I know that Chairman Mao killed all the birds in China once, and it caused a famine.
What?
Yeah, you should look it up. One day, Chairman, like it was like back when he first took over and stuff. He did a thing. There's a reason he did it.
Yeah.
But because they did that, it fucked up nothing would eat the insects, and then the insects destroyed the crops, so it caused a massive famine that killed heaps of people. But there was like a 2-year period there where they killed all the birds in China. Sorry, that was a cut this out of the clip. That was random.
Oh, well, nah. So
sorry. What I thought about.
All right. So the mass bird suicides of Jatinga in India. The village of Jatinga in Dima Hasao district. I'm not going to do names because I'm not very good.
Shout out if you're from there listening.
In the Dima Hasao district of Assam in India has a population of around 2,500. The village is world famous for its phenomenon of bird suicides. Most of the migratory birds? Migratory?
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the migratory birds visiting the area never leave the village and just drop to their death on the streets. The case gets even more strange. The case gets even more strange in the sense that these birds plummet to their death precisely between the time of 6 and 9:30 p.m., which is on moonless nights in September and October. So it's it's a very, very precise time.
How often would it have to happen before you'd notice that that's happening? Because you'd think that would just be random.
Well, and it's become a yearly thing. So these mass suicides occur yearly, and only in a specific 1 mile by 600 feet strip of land. And this phenomenon is said to have occurred every year without break for more than a century. Oh, fuck. I didn't see that part. Many theories have been offered by scientists to explain the phenomenon, but the most popular one is that these birds are attracted towards the village lights and that can confuse them. Well, that just makes you...
But how are they suicidal? Like, that's the thing I don't understand. Like, they're killing themselves but just stops flying and then they drop to the ground.
I think they're losing direction and going smack bang into the floor, like suicide bombers. You know, like the ones that just kamikaze into
Yeah.
Isn't that what Japan did? Is that what Japan?
Yeah, kamikaze pilots.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the kamikaze pilots, yeah. Another theory that makes more sense is the presence of excessive magnetic field.
Yeah, I was going to say magnets.
In the area that disorientates them. But no one can actually explain the phenomenon.
That's cool.
That is an interesting one because I don't know if that doesn't seem to... I mean, it can feel creepy, but it also just feels like what's causing the magnetic field disruption?
Well, you say, okay, let's go. You want to go hell crazy conspiracy about it? 100 years.
Never heard of it.
Let's go 100 years. 100 years ago, we're talking the 1920s, which
Yes.
is like your peak of when they're starting to like send. Have you seen that show? There's a one on Netflix at the moment, and it's about in China, and it's back in the day, and they're sending radio signals out into space.
Oh, the 3-body problem.
Yes.
Yes.
Same kind of idea. We will legit do it. How do we know that's not one of those? And it's just a starless night, moonless night. So the best time to send out a signal. India, the middle of nowhere in India, we could whack dang a big, huge like radio signal or something. And they're just probably shooting it out at night at the best time of the year or the best time to have that happen. And the birds are just flying into it going, bleh. And not like, that's weird. There's 1 mile radius. Like, so it's just one straight line. Yeah, there's clearly something getting shot out.
There's something going
when there's
on.
nothing in the moon at the night in the middle of nowhere. Like, do you know Australia's filled filled with US bases.
Yeah.
And like warhead things and like because there's
Yeah,
nothing
people-
out there. No one cares. Dig a
people-
hole, put it there.
Yeah, people obviously know about Pine Gap or the one up in Exmouth. They're
Yep.
big, but there's fucking hundreds of
I
them.
think we're the country with the most.
Really?
We're the like, don't quote me on it,
Hmm.
like, but you can have the. I'm pretty sure that Australia, and we're an ally, and we have the most, other than the United States, we're the most.
I think they
US
have
Army bases.
I think they have 800 plus around the world from memory. I last read.
Not bad,
Why do you need so many bases around the world, man?
because they're the police.
They're the police.
How many police stations is there in Middle Swan?
Well, the question is, who's going to police the police, Cameron?
Me? No one.
No one's going to
So
police the police.
China. No, but that's what I think it might be. Otherwise, yeah, mate. What else could it? That's exciting. I don't know. I like mysteries. This is fun.
Oh, I've got. Do you want to do a mystery or do you want me to read another one?
I've got one that's not really a mystery. Can I try it?
Yeah, try it, baby.
Okay. Do you know the song "Gangsta's Paradise" by Coolio?
Yes.
And it was recorded in 1995.
Yes.
Yeah, and and it's like a real it's like I don't think the song's about what we think it's about.
What do you think it's about?
Because it's supposed to be like, I thought it was like this, oh man, it's hard being on the streets and like it's gangster's paradise out there. But some of the line, like, he's like, I'm 23, will I live to see 24? And like, it was recorded in 1994. He's born in 1963. He was like mid-30s when he made that song. Yeah, you're going to live, you lived it 10 years ago, you rascal. He was already 30 when he made that song about, am I going to live to see 24? And then he's like, I'm always laughing and blasting. Even my mama thinks my mind's gone. Yeah. Because you think you're in your early 20s and you're like a 40-year-old man. You weirdo.
Oh.
Cut this out. This is insane.
Is it?
Like, it's really upset me.
Well, did he maybe write it when he was 23?
Obviously, yeah. I'm sorry.
Or did he, or is he in reference to 23 or 24?
But then he's like praying to the streetlights. Maybe he's crazy. Maybe it's a story of a man who's mentally ill.
Yeah, maybe it's so.
It's not. You can cut this completely out. This is insane.
I would say he's just rapping about maybe even potentially
probably wrote
how
it
he
10
felt,
years earlier.
or even how he felt when he was 23.
Yeah.
Maybe he was in a
Look,
bad
it's a
place.
good point. It's not a mystery at all.
It's not a mystery, but
Okay, let's edit that out.
all right. This one's cool because this is very mysterious.
Okay.
With an unknown. It's unsolved.
Okay.
I love these ones. The unknown force.
Ooh.
At the end of January in 1959, a Russian cross-country ski team ventured into northern Ural Mountains. Intended expedition was 1 week-long skiing adventure to reach the Oraton Mountain in the Urals. They left Vizhai, the last inhabited settlement far north, on January 27th, but never came back alive. The trouble wasn't that the team disappeared. It was the state they were in when they found them. The campsite was abandoned and with the tent torn from the inside. Searchers followed the recent footprints that led to the edge of nearby woods, where they discovered remains of a fire and 2 dead bodies. The first 2 bodies discovered were found shoeless and only wearing underwear. Nearby, the searchers found the 3 more bodies that appeared to have been trying to return to camp at the time. It wasn't until 2 months later that authorities would find the remaining 4 bodies in a ravine under 4 meters of snow quite a bit further away from the camp. 2 hikers had skull damage, 2 had major chest fractures, and 1 woman was missing her tongue. What? This is a bit... Okay. They had no external wounds or injuries. There were no foreign footprints and there was no sign of struggle. What's puzzling was that some of the victims were wearing each other's clothes. Examination concluded 6 group members died of hypothermia and 3 of fatal injuries. Medical examiner finally concluded the group's members all died because of a compelling unknown force.
What?
So the whole tent torn from the inside is very creepy. That weirds me out.
That's something like because it's something's they're being in the tent, but then they're wearing each other's clothes. But is that a case of they had to get out of the tent quickly?
Now, is there some form of, and maybe potentially there's something that happens mentally, but like in certain extreme weathers, do you start to, hallucinate? Do you, lose bearings? dementia. What is it called? Sometimes you can get
group hysteria.
Yeah, like that you can be put into states of like certain fear. I think underwater, under certain pressures, there's certain things that can happen. But yeah,
the fact that they've cut themselves out of the tent,
like someone's tongue is removed, skull fractures. Like what happened to them is,
and everyone was accounted for in the group.
Yes, they were all dead.
Monsters. There must be a monster.
No tracks.
Monsters can fly. No, this is a mystery. This is scary, man.
Torn from the inside. I don't know. What about like
that?
What about aliens? Like abducting? Like that? That's okay. Fun thing to entertain. Not fun for the people who experience it. But
no, not at all.
No tracks.
It's fun, but also like it's in the middle of a snowstorm. Wouldn't the tracks have been covered up by the snow? That to me though, the idea that they cut themselves out of the tent and then there was people wearing each other's clothes, that seems like run. You know that meme where it's like you hear that run, and then everyone just scatters? That's get the hell out of this tent as quickly as possible and you grab whatever the fuck you can and put it on and get out of there. And then something chased them. Something hits two people in the head and someone in the chest and bitten someone's tongue out.
And the fact that they couldn't determine what caused the death.
Unknown force.
Because otherwise, if it was like a bear or something, they'd be saying, well, they got chased by a bear.
Yeah.
2 of them died, or 3 of them died through their injuries and the other 5 died through hypothermia. Like, that makes sense.
Because were the other 5 close together? Or they were just scattered around?
They were together trying to return back to camp. So that does
they've
suggest
run
that
from something.
They've run from something. They've gotten stuck, and then some people have.
The 4 they got, 2 of them got caught, and they bit a tongue out.
So 1 with no tongue, no external injuries. 2 with crushed skulls, and 1 with chest fracture. Ooh.
How do you do a chest fracture?
Oh, you got to be hit pretty,
right? Because Rocky, when he was training for that thing with old mate Drogo, he sent him into hospital because he punched him in the chest so hard it gave him a heart arrhythmia.
Really?
Like it changed. Like you can, if you hit the timing right, you can change like the same beat of the heart. You can cause the heart to go to arrhythmia, and that's what he did to Drogo when he punched him in the chest so hard. And that punched him so hard it stopped his heart, but it didn't fracture his chest. Like how hard do you have to get hit to fracture your chest?
So what would be so scary that it would force you to leave your tent from the inside in your underwear, and the other 4 or 5 scatter as well?
To be honest, if one of my friends looked at me and was like, and bit their own tongue out, I'd probably cut the tent and run the fuck out as well. And maybe the 2 people bumped into each other. That was the head fracture. And the other guy, they're missing the part. He fell over their 2 bodies down a ravine and he landed on a giant rock that smashed him in the chest.
Yeah.
And then everyone else was like looking for their friends. Like, what the fuck was that about? They put on whatever clothes they can, go out looking for them. The storm got too much. They couldn't turn back and find their camp.
Something's happened.
Slay. No, that's
not slay.
Not slay. Oh, I've got one for you.
You've got one?
I'll bring up the actual details for it. It's this kind of similar.
Yes.
It was about an American settlement that disappeared.
Really? Oh, that gets me jacked. That gets me jacked up.
Roanoke colony.
The who?
Okay, so it was the Roanoke colony. It was a first permanent settlement by English settlers in North America. The colony was founded in 1585, and then when it was visited again in 1590, so 5 years later, everyone had completely disappeared.
So the community still stood?
Everything they'd built was there. There was no people. They'd completely vanished. It's come to be known as the Lost Colony, and the fate of 112 to 121 people are completely unknown.
I mean, surely off the top of your head, you'd expect potentially Native American Indians have come and just gone.
Apparently,
nah, mate.
Yeah, apparently the speculation they had assimilated with nearby Native American tribes. Communities appear writing in 1605, so they reckon that maybe that's happened. Investigations by Jamestown colonists produced reports that the Roanoke settlers had been massacred, but there was no body, there's no evidence of it. Yeah, so that's pretty fun. How weird! Like, imagine you set up a whole colony and you come back 5 years later to check in on them and they're just gone.
Well, didn't that happen to the Incas? There's no the Incas. Is that what they're called? The Aztecs. They're whole like the Sumerians. Or is it Sumerians?
Yeah, but
I don't know what you call them. The people who built the Aztec pyramids.
yeah,
Their society is just disappeared.
But it's the problem with like people and like organic material is we do disappear after we're dead.
But
do you know what I
surely
mean?
you'd
So it's
have like if you're just going to vacate a beautiful and incredible city that you've built, you would have had some sort of potential like something written saying they'd migrated to warmer areas or colder areas or whatever, or more fruitful areas, or you'd have an extinction event or some sort of die-off where there'd be skeletons.
They did, didn't they? Then once the Spanish came, and then there was all the sicknesses and stuff, and then that started spreading.
Yeah,
and there was those kind of ones, but it was
but I think that was before this. This was like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago.
Oh,
so when they were in power, I guess, or at their height. I don't know. Maybe I should. Is it the Mayans? I think it's the Mayans.
but the Mayans were like the 1600s.
Was it? Was it the 16? Was it the Mayans?
I'm sure. Like no, that's the native South Americans, right? And then the Spanish came and
Let's have a little look because they didn't build the
they did.
the pyramids in the 1600s.
Yeah,
You reckon?
I reckon it was closer to 16 than 0.
Aztec pyramids. Let's see. Let's have a look. The Mesopotamian.
Yeah, 1325 to 1521. The Aztecs founded their capital and built their temple. The Aztec ruler was the outermost layer of the temple. Yeah. Aztec
What?
ruined. Yeah, they're way later than you think, bro. Aztecs are literally just Native Americans in Mexico.
What? I'm
Yeah,
perplexed.
this is why Matt Storer and I have that really fun game. This is how you know that we're hell dorks. Me and Matt will sit there and we'll write major things that happen in the world, and then you have to play timeline and put them in order of where you think things happen, and you'd be amazed at some things you just assume are a lot older or a lot newer than they are. But yeah, the Aztecs are not an ancient civilization.
Approximately 3,000 years ago, they were building pyramids.
Who?
The Maya. The earliest monuments consist of a simple burial mounds.
Yeah, but everyone was doing that, right? Like,
Mayan temples of pyramid-like structure. These pyramids relied on. So, I guess potentially. So the ones that we all
and they were destroyed after the 16th century.
Yeah, so the ones that we see are the modern ones.
Yeah, the big ones that like, but even though, so you know those big massive ones that you see in this, like, wow,
Yeah.
they were all overgrown and covered because the people did die out and disappear.
Yeah.
And it only takes like 100 years for that. Even like, so Machu Picchu was thousands of real ancient, and that was completely covered up. We didn't even know that they had to undig it and stuff.
Okay.
But we're talking about in a time when you like, why didn't they write it? People didn't have writing back then.
Yeah.
It was only very select people in the society, and if they're dead and you just have to move on and like, you know what I mean? Like, it is fascinating how much we lost of like you see all those big stadiums and shit, they're still digging up in Rome. In random Italy places, someone will be like, hey, the top of my mountain has a weird curve to it, and then they put a drone up there and be like, holy shit, and they dig it out and it's like a stadium.
Yeah.
Like a little half stadium carved out of the mountain.
Isn't
and
that
it's just been covered over by grass. People just forget about it. It only takes like 50, 30, like it takes a generation, right, to forget what's there.
Yeah, and someone was telling me that I think it was like even the Colosseum was under dirt, basically.
Yeah.
So it was excavated. It's not what you see now. Like when you go there, it's surrounded by roads and there's beautiful architecture everywhere.
They reclaimed so much of that land. Like,
how does that happen though? Like, because I mean, how old's the Colosseum? A few thousand.
Thousands, yeah. A couple of thousand, yeah.
So. Yeah, fuck. I guess, a couple of thousand years of.
Well,
like, when did they
how they made bridges?
That?
Do you know how they used to make bridges? It will blow your mind, man.
No.
Even back in the ancient days, how they'd make a bridge over the thing.
Yeah.
They would literally drain the water out of the thing. So they'd go in there and they'd build a square, right, where they wanted to, from the floor of the basin of the thing, out of like thingy, and then they'd fill it up, and then they'd drain it. They'd get a bunch of thing and they'd drain the water out and siphon the water out.
Yeah.
So then in the middle of the river, they've just made an empty square, and then they'd put all their concrete and they'd build up from that. And they'd do that. And we're talking thousands. That's how Romans would construct shit.
Wow.
They were siphoning the water out of fucking rivers. They were building their own dams in the middle of it, concreting and built. Like, that's the engineering we will still do. Like, People are so that's why. We could never have built the pyramid. Yeah, we can. People are so smart. People are so good at engineering, and with pulleys and levers and shit like that. If you understand physics, you can do kind of anything. And people are not dumb.
The interesting thing about the pyramids, though, in the timeline and the time frame that they said they could do it, we couldn't do it and the way that they do it. I'm interested in. That's a mystery.
I don't know. Like, you got to think that this is.
They could have just made. Yeah, they could have said, "Oh, it took 50 years or whatever it was." No, it took 200.
Even if it took hundreds of years, it stimulated their entire economy. Like, you look at, like, we use the idea of it now. What is it, like? Neoliberalism. It's an idea that you take X amount of the government's money and you spend it on infrastructure. Yeah. And because you're spending your own money on infrastructure, you're actually stimulating your own economy. You're keeping people involved. You're keeping jobs alive. You're keeping, like, you know what I mean? That's why there's always people working on roads in Perth. Yeah. It doesn't matter, like, are you not fixed yet? No, there always has to be an infrastructure project to keep X amount of people employed and then just keep the money moving hands. Like, those people have to buy food, those people have to have clothes, those people have to go. It just stimulates the economy with your own money, right? They were doing that thousands of years ago because to build those pyramids, you had to have people that would be feeding those people, clothing those people, making the tools, the people that make the tools to make the tools, the people that are making the houses for those things, the people who are getting the entire economy would have been stimulated just to have a workforce to make pyramids. Do you know what I mean? At every level, the whole, like, it's almost like the pyramids built Egypt, not the other way around. Like, so, like, even if that project took 400 or 500 years, it stimulated you. It gave everyone a purpose and I don't know. I think it's completely feasible. And then you look at how they would have built it, even if you did the same thing with sand and you built backwards and you excavated down or, like, what? Who knows? Sliding things up and down. I don't think everyone's like, it's impossible to do. Like, nothing's impossible.
Well, definitely not, but potentially with far. Yeah,
aliens is such a sweeter idea because we can't gather it now because everything's so quick and the amount of growth we do is quick. But someone was explained to me it's crazy. Like, back in the day when you'd raise your kid, like 1,000 years ago, if you raised your kid, you knew that the way your dad raised you would work on your kid because nothing changed from hundreds of years forward or back. Yeah. Whereas our life that we grew up in is so different to our parents' lives and their life. It's just the world changes so quickly. So I think it's hard for us to grasp the idea of, like, some things just take, like, that's just what we do. There would have been generations of people in North Africa who their whole purpose was putting rocks on this thing, right?
Yeah. And I don't doubt that if that was the case. But also with the precision and the size of these rocks that they were putting them in, it sort of feels to me that potentially it's just the leftovers of maybe a potential a civilization that was more advanced than us, maybe
than what we are now.
Yeah, and there has.
But
been
then, wouldn't that say they're more advanced than we are now? I love that idea, and I love that that's like the remnants of something left behind. Yeah, but, like, we're super advanced, and we don't build shit with limestone anymore. Yeah. So, like, why would this one that's super crazy more advanced than us? Why would they go back to such a primitive item? Yeah. Like, I believe that there might have been, but it would have been made of shit like plastic, and that's why it's not left over anymore. Plastic doesn't, you know what I mean? It kind of will melt away, or, like, it might be on such a lower level, like. But
that's also coming at it from a mechanical or a mechanism style sort of technology advancement that you probably think I'm getting at, but potentially being more advanced as a civilization, we may not have gotten into mechanics and like the motors and whatnot. Maybe it was down to something as simple as leveraging the power of sound and energy. And
that's what I've seen a lot of, actually, is the sound and the vibration and stuff will change
I mean, you can raise little small items with vibrations and sound and whatnot. So, I mean...
And I guess, like, everything is just atoms vibrating at a X amount of thing, right? So maybe there's how cool.
But so to suggest that we were potentially a more advanced civilization doesn't necessarily mean we were more advanced technologically, but maybe our understanding of how to, assimilate in with the surroundings of our planet and the universe were far more advanced. Potentially.
Interesting, hey? But I guess it's like... You know that saying that you can't see the forest through the trees or whatever? Like, you look at individual, and there's only X amount. Maybe it's like a case of that. Like, they were so far knowledgeable about shit, like the movement of something. You know what I mean? Like how I don't know. I used to be so impressed with how intricate their maps of the stars were and the movement of things and like how, like, they used to be so, wow, this is so impressive. But also there was nothing else.
Mm.
Like for half of your life, you were just looking at this blank sky with these things. Like
with interest.
you kind of like you should have had a detailed map of that. There's nothing else for you to look at for half your life. Like, do you know what I mean? So like, but we're so distracted with everything. We never look up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's that kind of thing. Like maybe they did because they didn't have enough. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No.
Like, that whole idea that
Well, that was our life, I guess.
Yeah.
Or our ancestors' life was even go back to 50s and 60s. We didn't have phones, TVs weren't like readily available or if you had a TV in the 50s, like it was a family TV and it was black and white and it was so do you know, like less distractions, more present, more observational of what's going on around you, probably including the sky. It makes more sense. And that's only 50 years ago. Imagine thousands of years ago.
Yeah, thousands of years. Yeah,
with less light pollution, everything. It makes sense. It makes sense. But the whole ancient history fucking intrigues me.
It's the funnest. I think it's the funnest because also like it didn't happen. Did it happen? Who knows? Who knows, man? Like we can say, it was, but you and I personally only have survived since the 90s.
Yeah.
That's all we actually experienced. So what we can actually tangibly prove is only that. Like the 50s are as real to us as ancient Egypt. And like that's the other part. Like you watch these documentaries or opinions that we have that are wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was so many things that we just assume, and then you watch a documentary on it from the 30s. Like, oh, actually, no, this was this, or this is what this was and stuff. Or like you see the backstory behind it, and you're like, we're only not even 100 years removed. Imagine adding thousands of years of Chinese whispers. Like, and the only thing, that history is written by the victors. But even then, it's only just what happens to survive. And so many of ancient Rome we know from like a couple of historians, like guys that were writing it, they could have been full of shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane to me that, like, you think of how many, like, right now we could just be writing down it, and then Kevin Rudd was actually a robot who ate horses for dinner.
Yeah.
And then, like, if everything else gets wiped out, my blog is the only thing to survive. People are like, wow, early 2000s Australia was crazy.
Yeah.
Their prime minister ate horses.
Yeah. And so if you control information, you control history.
Exactly. And that's why I think, circle back, let's storm the Vatican and find out what's in those fucking churches, in those library. They've got like the most extensive library collection.
Why wouldn't
we
they?
barely only know what's around now. What do you know?
What do you know? What are they hiding?
Even if it's just about Jesus, give us some idea about what the hell things happening. Like, it's you silly duffers. We should know all the information.
Yeah. I mean, the Dead Sea Scrolls and certain things. Like, why would you change like a Bible? Like, I say it all the time. I really think religions have been hijacked by the greed of men.
Oh, 100%.
At their heart contain the true messages of a higher divine power, whether it's through the words of Jesus or Muhammad or whoever the prophet is within that Bible. I think the messages and what,
pure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally do. And I think they've been hijacked by religion themselves.
Well, wasn't it that meeting? There was a big meeting, right? And they decided all the things that go into the Bible. That's what they decided. This is going to be the official version of the Bible, right? They had that big meeting and shit. We're lucky that marketing wasn't a huge thing back then, because they really could have claimed some wild shit, and we'd still like. We're so lucky that they didn't decide to put in a little verse that Jesus built the pyramids. Like, we're lucky they didn't know the pyramids existed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would have claimed Jesus did that, or he built the Great Wall of China. Like, we're lucky that marketing wasn't really a thing, because they could have added so many more shit to be like, wow, Jesus is pretty cool.
Yeah.
He went to Australia and made it barren. Like, wow.
Oh, yeah. It's, I don't know. The internet is a very fun thing at the moment. It's scary because there is, it's very easy to just dive into and believe anything.
Dude.
And
even stuff like clearly a joke, some people will take as verbatim, and you're like, wow, if you believe this, and this is clearly like started with, hey, this is a joke.
Well, now we get to see all different versions of truths and get to go, right, I'm going to use my discernment.
Yeah.
I think they're taking away that discernment and they're saying, no, where? And
this is it.
Actually, that's sort of what we're seeing now is if it was that way, like the Bible is, we have chosen this is the way and you have to follow it. This seems to me to be what's happening now with news and social media. Like, they're going, no, what we say, this is what it is. No matter what you want to interject or what you want to argue or what you want to have dialogue about.
Yeah.
No, it's not happening. And I'm starting to see that.
Yeah.
Like,
And
Twitter being banned in Brazil. Like, I get you're trying to protect people from harmful content. But free speech, like I think you said it the other day, like if you need to be convinced, if something that someone says convinces you to go and kill someone, you already had that in you.
Yeah. So that makes me wonder, is it... Has any rebellion ever been built off of Twitter or off of Facebook or anything? Has any government been overthrown or something? Yeah, I know it's bad and you're like silencing voice, but you're not silencing every voice.
No.
How many people do you even know that's on? I don't know anyone in Perth that's on Twitter. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so it's even like things like, well, maybe it's not. I don't know. When you look at like the control the Catholic Church had, and it was to stop people, and you look at it and you're like, well, I can kind of get it now. When you see that everyone has an opinion and their own things, people are fucking dumb. Like, so it's like maybe we do need to be corralled, and it's like, well, how did they know that? Unless there was something that was there a period of time where everyone did have free will? And then it went mental.
Like, are we getting dumber? Like, are we? Because we're losing our right to discern and use discernment, which means you don't use it, you lose it, and eventually we're not going to be able to discern from truth and fabricated lies. So it will get to a point where the people in power who provide the information can just say, "This is what it is," and you go, "Yep, no worries." And that's scary, man. Like taking away people's intelligence, you're ridding themselves of their ability to discern between truth and lies.
But don't you think people on average know way more now than they ever did? Like, I know that it's like, oh, it might be fake or whatever, but at least as far as just like general what's happening, like my parents just watch the 6 o'clock news every single night.
Yeah.
So they knew exactly what, like, and then it's like, and if you read maybe newspapers or if you go back generations, like we have phones and it's kind of forced on us. But if we were us in the 80s and I'm running my business, there's no way I would even know what's happening anywhere in the world. I'd be so ignorant to most issues.
And well, information is clearly power. And we see a perfect example with like Meta or Zuckerberg admitting that they were suppressing the information about Burisma's ties with Hunter Biden and the effects that could have had on the election, and rightfully could have had on the election. That's huge. And to censor that information as, oh, it's Russian disinformation, when it wasn't, it was truth. That's the scary stuff. So, and it can be thrown the other way. If Trump was in power, what information could he suppress that he didn't want out there? For example, the porn star stuff, you know, like paying.
Yeah, well, saying that he wants to fuck his daughter.
Yeah. So there's things like, there's things that can be leveraged by whoever's in charge. And I think that's pretty dangerous. And so by having Twitter banned in Brazil, people think, oh, it means nothing to me. Like, I live in Australia. But that is the first domino to fall. And it becomes a precedent. We see with TikTok potentially being, it looks like it's going to get banned in the US. I think they gave them a year to sell off. Yes, they're not going to do it. And then TikTok is another thing. So anything they don't seem to have control
but when they're
over.
banning these things, right? I know, so sorry to think, but even like we live in such a free market and stuff. Like, is the ban that they're putting in no social media apps, or is it X company is banned? Because all that does, if you cut off the head, another one rises. So all it is you're just going to make a gap in the market for another social media app.
Potentially. I mean,
right, so as soon as you ban, and then that will pop up.
Yeah.
So should we just be going to programming school right now and start working on the next social media thing?
Yeah, because that's true. Because, like, obviously you do have pop-up things that rival other.
You can't ban
monsters,
everything unless
like
you go right into things saying you can't.
Yeah, because like Rumble has risen from nothing.
Rumble.
As an opposition to YouTube, because of YouTube's very strict guidelines, and they don't really give you much information on what you've done wrong or right. So it's really hard. But Rumble is a perfect example. Telegram, they've popped up in opposition. So, you know, Brazil is one of I think it's the 5th most populous place on the planet. And you're ridding 250 million people-ish, 215 million people of the ability to be able to discern what they
like how many
believe.
people, if we're talking about numbers like that, then like how many of those people live above the poverty line?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Brazil maybe should be worried about their people not being starving and having no education first. Not saying that's what all Brazil, but there's a lot of people that like Brazil has a lot of issues and Twitter's not one of them. Do you know what I mean? So like I get why they're trying to silence it, but yeah, you can see that as a hell fascist move, eh?
And it's just...
That's exactly why they're doing it, because there's so many fucking... And isn't he like burning down the rainforest or something as well?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming
I need to know more about Brazil.
Yes.
But it doesn't seem like...
But it shows it's an example of leveraging information to retain in power. And Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a scary little step in the right direction. So hopefully they stand against it. It's been upheld by the Supreme Court at the moment. So, but I don't know how I feel about Elon. I like free speech. There's some things he does and says that I'm like,
there's a lot.
But I think that's good. Like, you should be like that. You shouldn't just because it's like Trump. I think Trump is a better option than Harris. I still think he's a dickhead, and I think he does some stupid shit, and some of his policies are horrific. But I think largely on the scale, for example, that Trump is going to be better than Harris. And some people will be the other way. They'll be like, I think she's shit, but she's going to be better than Trump. So like that's their logic and reasoning, and I'm completely fine with people doing that. It's the people who go, nah, everything Trump does is good, and everything Harris does is good.
Mental.
Or the people who are like, nah, Tate's a god, or fucking like Tate might say some incredible things and to throw away everything he says is stupid, but then to believe everything he says is ridiculous as well. Like Jordan Peterson, I'm the same with. I hear and read some of the things he says, and I'm like, wow, how insightful, that is incredible. I didn't think of it like that. And then the next one, I'm like, I don't know if I buy into that. And that, I think, is a healthy way to think and listen to people. And that is discernment. And if you're banning Twitter, if you're banning TikTok, and you're banning all these social media platforms that disagree with your views, then you're just ridding people of their ability to make a decision based on what they see. And
but
you're taking away their reasoning.
That's accepting that what you're saying, what they're banning is free speech. Twitter is not free speech. You get on. I've been on it because I'm interested, but it's completely fucked now. You can't. You go to any comment section on it, and it's all just blue tick people trying to promote their own thing.
Yeah,
it's all you get paid by views on your shit. So the more outlandish and lie and ridiculous your stuff is, the more views it gets and the more money you get paid. So now the biggest trend on Twitter is like, here's 10 reasons why Trump's a pedophile. And then it'll just be like 10 random tweets in a thread. So people click on it and like, so it's literally, and then still like, I've got Elon banned. I've blocked Elon Musk.
Yeah.
His tweets still appear in my thread. Do you know how insecure and soft you have to be as a person to have it written into your codes that you can't block me on my app? Do you know how insecure a person you must be?
Yeah.
On top of that, the reason I don't like him, he doesn't create anything. I love people that make things in the world.
Yeah.
The whole world, the only things that ever are good are made from people who create. He is not one of those people. He's someone who buys up other people's ideas. He's never made anything in his life. He's never made anything in his life. And that is not a talent to use your money and buy the right companies. It's not a talent. He didn't start Tesla. He didn't start PayPal. He didn't start Twitter. He didn't start anything.
Yeah.
SpaceX didn't start. He bought them all.
I respect his.
You got a big wallet.
I respect his action, but
you got a big wallet and big balls.
I'm like, and again, it goes back to what I was saying. Like, that's why I can go, I like Elon for this, but that I don't like.
Yeah,
you know,
the things I don't like is enough to be like, you fucking suck, you little fucking punks.
When the cons outweigh the pros, I think you can do that with anyone. Really, you can make an assessment.
But like, if Twitter was this free speech thing, but it's not. Like, he's getting so like, that in itself is the biggest encapsulation. If I can't block you, like if you still show up in my feed, then this isn't free speech. This is just listen to what I have to say. I'm important. I bought this.
Yeah,
I'm important.
It's a very interesting. It's a very interesting time to be alive.
It's so much easier to switch off from it all, though.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to just be like, I don't want any of this. Goodbye.
That's why I love these mysteries and stuff. They're fun.
Yeah,
they're like
the best.
They're fun. Like I do want to continue to talk about politics, and I'm going to try and do a thing on things that are. I'm going to, like the other day I did like a 2-camera assessment of like Biden, Harris, and Trump, and I want to do more of them. And I'm going to do one small business plastic ban. It's really annoying me. Because it doesn't seem to apply to big businesses at this stage.
The plastic ban? What do you mean?
Yeah, so like, for example, the coffee cups
and
the coffee lids, they changed no more plastic. So that's also changing. Stage 2 came in today, so no more plastics for display things. So like, you put your little
sushi
porridge
and stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. Those sorts of little plastic things, banned now in WA. But if they are made off-site and then brought into, you can still use the plastic displays. So small businesses that have to do everything on site and don't have a registered kitchen.
Right, but Coles and Woolworths can just import all their shit now because it's a big thing.
Exactly.
So the plastic bag ban is already my biggest, like, it used to be a thing that would cost them millions of dollars to give to you for free.
Yeah.
And now it's a thing that they make millions of dollars on because you have to pay it.
And
then we'll all be like, it's better for the environment. No, they just pass the cost on to you, tard.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, that's all they did.
Yeah.
Like,
so, and that plastic ban really annoys me the most, especially this in WA.
Because fuck turtles, dumb dogs.
Yes,
I'll punch every turtle in the dumb face.
I love Wolfie's joke. What is it? Just put your fucking mouth on the cup, you bitch. I do. But I'm quite fine with making steps in the right direction to less pollution.
Right.
If it is blanket across the whole lot, there's no loopholes for a big business like Coles or Woolies to be able to go, oh no, we supply from interstate and we need this, and then they're the biggest contributors to the pollution, to the plastic bags.
Yep.
But then the poor small business owner who owns a cafe or a small local business has to then go, right now we have to use cardboard. Look at, I think it's Big Don's. Is it Big Don's meat?
Oh, the meat people? Yeah, he's cool.
So the sauces, they can't provide certain sauces because they're going to go soggy and it'll rot through because it's in cardboard now. So that means it ups the price. And then like a small business, now he's probably not the best example, but like a local coffee shop that potentially maybe is just getting by, and then they have to go, sorry, we can't afford to cop this extra expense, so we're going to have to pass it on to the customer. And the customer's like, well, now I'm paying $5.80 for a coffee. And it really makes things difficult for small businesses, and it makes things easier for the big businesses. And that is like, well, you're not actually doing anything for the environment. You're not solving pollution. You're continuing to make it easier for this big business like Woolworths or Coles, who price gouge fucking out the arse to poor people who are already struggling in a cost of living crisis. And then really hurt the small businesses that are just trying to get by, trying to do the right things, and don't largely contribute to that pollution. So,
dude, I'm going to make the call now, and we can look back on this episode in 10, 15 years' time. You can already see it happening. They're going to squeeze out these people like that, and then it'll be unsustainable to run a coffee shop unless you're all of a sudden Coles are going to start. So when we were kids, there used to be Holly's restaurant. Do you remember that? Holly's Cafe?
No, I don't.
It was in the middle of every Target and Kmart. They used to have like a Holly's Cafe. Like that's going to happen again because it's going to push out. So it's going to be unsustainable for little businesses to like do it. And then there's still going to be the hole in the market. The only person that can afford to do it will be your Coles and Woolworths. And then they're going to start doing coffee shops. I guarantee it in the next 10, 15 years.
And
they're going to squeeze out everyone, and everything's just going to be a conglomeration.
And what profit margin did they have last year?
Insane. I don't understand how we don't eat them alive. Even like when the banks come out and be like $9 billion profit, you're like, what?
And I'm not going to pretend like I still shop at Coles and Woolworths because
what other options is there?
Convenience. Fuck, going to IGA or the local markets, it's quite expensive now because they have to pass it on to you. So I'm actually actively going out of my way to go to Coles and Woolworths because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And so they're marginalising who can buy food from their outlets, and not marginalising it. Well, they're marginalising who can afford to buy food from local and small businesses, and then that's just going to become smaller and smaller, and then they're making it harder with the cost of living. So that group just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger that can only buy from Coles and Woolworths, for example. And I'm just using them as an example.
No, for sure.
It's fucking frustrating.
Dude. And then you look at like even the way that we're so trained with Coles and Woolworths to just go and sit there and just do our own, like with the machine and stuff. And in fairness, I hate talking to people in public. Like I hate it. I'm so rude sometimes. If I'm just in my own little word at Office Works and someone's like, hey, where's the pens? I kind of don't even answer.
Yeah.
And I feel such a cunt, but I'm just like, I don't know you. I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
So at Coles, I love that if I'm just going to serve myself.
Yeah.
But the amount of times you have to get someone to come and fix the machine because it's seen you do something like I had a coffee in my tray and it's thinks I'm stealing it, and you're like, fuck off, you weirdos.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And we're all getting trained to be like that. So it's like, wait, I have to pay you more. I can only shop here, and then I have to do it all myself as well. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like all the power to the people that refuse and they stand in line. Like, no, you do it for me. But it's also like, I don't have half an hour to waste standing here to prove a point.
Yeah, mate. Big business, mate. This is exactly what it is.
That's why we need to start our own.
Start a big business.
Yeah.
I love that.
Why doesn't everyone just start their own $1 billion corporation?
Yeah, why? I have another
mystery?
Another mystery to read. Sorry about our rant about banning censorship and big business.
No, but it's a good point though. It's all just controlling us for nothing, for their own gain, I guess.
Yeah. It's getting to a point where it'll be just centralized by the same businesses. We're actually
just-
we're probably there when it comes down to
Totally are.
to the top of the top, which is like BlackRock and Vanguard, basically saying, we own the food, we own the people who own the food, we own the people who message or promote the message that goes out, the narrative.
Yeah.
And I guess
Or even
basically
Coles and
we're living to a point in a globalist society where the central point of power is at one point, which is the people
Where the money.
people like Vanguard and people like BlackRock.
Well, even Australia is completely we say it's a duopoly, but it's a monopoly on the food. Like you said, we only go to Coles or Woolies, and then someone put out an AI algorithm that it takes all the specials on the website and charts them. And how convenient. The prices seem to be on a 7-day scale. And then they happen to be the opposite of each other. So if you are a dedicated Woolies person, the amount you'll pay for your groceries will change every 7 days. It'll either go up or down. And if you're Coles, the same thing. But they're never at the same time. So if you're smart, you can play the market and be like, okay, Coles this one, Woolies it, and mix it. But for most people, it means on average, you're paying way more for your shit because this week Coles is going to charge more for me and next week Woolies will. So it's back and forth. And so they'll get you at one point. You can't ever win.
Yeah, well, they own the fuel as well.
They own it all.
And like how can they justify a 62-cent increase in one day?
Especially
so
because the
is
oil we're
Tuesday.
using is the oil we got out of the ground a year ago. So the price of oil right now shouldn't even affect the price of the pumps. It was a year ago we got that oil out of the ground.
It is despicable. The fact that it is $1.50 today, tomorrow it'll be $2.12.
Yeah. How is it more expensive overnight?
52 cents a litre.
You want to know another one with government gouging? You want to know another one? Cigarettes. Price of cigarettes. A packet of cigarettes in Australia is $60 or whatever.
Yeah.
10% of Australians smoke cigarettes. In America, where cigarettes are crazy cheap, 11.4% of people smoke cigarettes. So the whole idea that they're charging more for cigarettes to make less people do it is bullshit. You're charging more for cigarettes because it's something that you can just chuck more money on. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
But that's just another one where it's like, oh, we're charging more for your health. It's like, really? Because smoking hasn't reduced.
No.
And we smoke at the same rate every other Western world does. So are you just taking money out of your pocket? And then who smokes? Oh, it's poor people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Who do all this shit affect? Oh, yeah, poor people. Every system. I'm so... Imagine being in a position where I can design the laws to make people have to give me more money for quizzes. Imagine being in a position where I can make it where you have to have entertainment every week, but you can only have my entertainment. And you have to pay me this much, and you have to come. That's what they're doing. That's not fair. And it's like, I don't know, sorry, that's my little rant, but I feel like every single system is designed just to get more money and squeeze it out of poor people. Like they're looking at now, Canon are going to start doing subscription-based for your printer and for your mouse and shit. So everything's going to move to a subscription-based. If you want to keep using it, everything will be subscription-based. Even for my business, I have to have Microsoft Word suite. When I was a kid, I remember my dad buying Microsoft Word, putting the disk in, and then you owned it.
Yeah.
No, I have to pay $114 every 12 months. Just so I can keep using Microsoft fucking Word.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this? So, thanks for listening to my rant.
Monopolies are fucking doing my head in as well.
Let's do a mystery. It's something fun.
I've got a good fun mystery. This is sick. I do need a piss. I don't know whether to just run in and piss in
It's
the
a
sink.
pistery.
It's a pistery.
Where's he going to go?
All right. Do you have a mystery after this?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay, cool. Actually, no, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to go.
Okay, go with
piss in the sink.
Good luck. I believe in you. But you've never peed in your own sink?
Nope. You?
Yeah.
What reasoning?
I regretted it immediately. I'm not going to lie.
I did it here out of desperation because I wanted to do it quickly.
Sometimes, so when I don't know whether this is a fat person thing or a regular person thing, but when I'm laying down, I don't need to go pee, but then I stand up, it's like all the liquid floods to my bladder. I'm like, oh, fuck, I need to piss.
Oh, yeah.
And I was laying down, I can remember the situation. You get up for a cone, and I really wanted to smoke this billy, but then all of a sudden I need to pee, and you're doing that hop, jumpy bit, and you're like, fuck, I really need to pee, but I really wanted to finish smoking it.
Yeah.
And when you're almost holding the end of your doodle, people who don't have doodles,
yes,
unlucky, but you got to hold the end of it, something you feel like it's about, fuck, I'm pinching, and then I'm right there, but I just, peed and cone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I did go through a phase. Oh, this is going to make me feel like a dog. No, I'm not going to say it.
Do it.
On tour. I'd do it on tour just because it would be funny to me.
On tour.
On tour. Tour.
Like when you're touring, like
When you're doing comedy around in different places and
Oh,
shit, and you're in those like shitty little motels and stuff, and this thing just happened. Like I'm very tall,
Yeah.
so a lot of the times that you just rest your balls in this, like it's just a vibe.
I get it.
Whatever.
I've done it
Don't
before
judge
when
me, it's the
someone's in
middle
the
of the
toilet and I
night.
really need to go.
Yeah.
piss in the sink.
I
It's
didn't
all the
shit in
same.
the sink.
I sprayed it after. It's all good.
Yeah, me too. Can we cut this?
Yeah, potentially.
And I'm back. Thanks for coming back, Branchy. I missed you,
I went for a wee break. All right, the hum.
baby.
Have you heard about these? Have you heard about these hums that are being heard around the world?
No.
Like low tones.
Oh my god.
So the hum is a low-pitched sound heard in numerous places around the world, especially in the USA and UK and Northern Europe.
Okay.
It is usually heard only in quiet environments and often described as sounding like a distant diesel engine or horns. Since it's been proven to be largely undetectable by microphones or VLF antenna, in 1997, Congress directed scientists and observers from some of the most prestigious research institutes in the nation to look into the strange low-frequency noise. So it's actually to a point where it's been recognized by a government. Yeah. And sorry, let me find where I was. Low-frequency noise heard by residents. And in the town of Taos, we'll go Taos, Taos.
Yeah.
Let's go Tao.
Yeah, like Lao.
Yeah, in the small town of Tao in New Mexico. Only a small percentage of the population is confirmed to hear it, and for years those who have heard the noise often described it as the Tao hum. Everyone has been looking for answers, and to this day no one knows the cause of the sound.
Love that. Love that.
So I've actually seen the videos. I haven't heard... Oh, have I heard the hum? I think I had a moment where I heard the... Oh, I can't remember. No. Potentially. Potentially I've heard it myself. I'm trying to remember now. But I definitely have seen videos of the low frequency, it's like a pull... It's like a horn. Have you seen these videos?
Yeah, but I thought that was like... I have. You see, and you can hear.
Yes. So, best guess from some people is it's either the sound of the sun. What do they call the rays?
Oh my god. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, go.
I was gonna. It just gave me a shock of reading a thing about people that was shocked that the sun didn't make it. So people who are deaf their whole life and then they finally hear for the first time, and like all these beautiful stories and stuff. And a couple of them said it shocked them to find out the sun didn't make a sound. So when you're deaf your whole life and like you just never have heard any sounds, it really shocked them to because it radiates. Oh. So if you're deaf and like anything that normally has that movement would make a sound, and apparently a lot of people have been deaf and then they hear things. Oh, I cried when I first heard my baby, or like a sound of laughter is still birds chirping. I didn't realize how loud a park was. They always say they can't believe the sun doesn't make a noise. And I've never thought of it before until it's like, oh yeah, but yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it is like it just happens to be the right atmospheric pressures or whatever. Well, the sun has gone.
Yeah. Well, because the frequencies of certain light.
It's just an explosion out there, billion years away, like 1,000 light. Like it's weird that. Sorry, that's why I got excited when you said it might be the sound of the sun. It could be.
Yeah, the sound of the coronal mass ejections hitting the Earth's atmosphere.
What did you call it?
Coronal mass ejections.
Yeah, all over my face.
Yeah. So, coronal mass ejections could be one of the answers. That when the what do they call it when the
like a solar flare?
Solar flare. That's the other word from a solar flare hitting the Earth's atmosphere. The other thoughts. These are all best guesses, but because our poles slightly move. I think it's fuck all, like 2 or 3 meters a year or something like that. But the pole is moving from sort of south to north to south, like 3 meters a year or something like that. They think potentially it's the sound of the actual shifting, like a creaking. It's like a creaking. there's there's a lot of different suggestions, but no one knows. So
I love that.
And the fact that it's tangible, it's been investigated by the government or federal bodies, is just lends even further
Okay, I got a new theory for you.
creepiness to the speculation. Yeah?
Let's throw this one out. So there was ancient civilization who was hell smart and they worked everything out. And then they did something and it released something into our atmosphere that ends up killing humans. So that's why we die after 90 years. Like we get literally the atmosphere poisons us. Oxygen literally breaks our body down because they released it. And then they had to go underground. So the ancient civilization evacuated the Sumerians. They went under. Stay with me. I can feel you pulling back.
No.
Right. So they're living underground. And then the rest of us, we're in a fallout situation. We're the people that are left here to live on generations. That's why Bible people live 10,000 years. That's how we're supposed to live until they release this gas, right? And this is such a dumb theory.
Keep going.
Then they live underground. And the people have been underground. And that sound you hear is just them turning on the gates or something, like someone's opening up the... Dumb theory. Let's delete that. Sorry.
No.
Just throwing it out there.
That's fun.
Maybe it's
I like
people,
that.
because you know how there's always talk about people living underground? Have you heard all this underground stuff?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's
Definitely not a good theory.
That's another theory behind why the aliens, or the greys, the grey aliens
Yeah.
with the big heads and the big eyes and the white bodies. Another theory behind them is that they aren't aliens at all. They're just first inhabitant humans that have gone underground and adapted slowly to...
Which you'd have to. Big eyes to get more light in and stuff.
Yep. It's...
Do you think that's why white people went white?
Why is there white people?
Well, so supposedly it's when we all left Africa and everyone split off from those things, like when the monkeys first evolved and we started leaving Africa and stuff. And then the ones that went north, because it's so
Chilly
and cold and stuff, it's just evolutionary, like the lighter skin to get more light in and stuff like that. That's how they explained it happened. Essentially what would happen if you went underground, but maybe that's what happened. We went underground first.
Because our skin
and then some of us came back up into Europe and were like, oh, we'll just live out here. And the people, you know what I mean?
So is that, and I'm just...
Yeah, it's people.
Is health wise,
Yeah.
we need sun, vitamin D to survive. We need a good amount of that. And so as they've gotten further north, the black skin is hard. It's more protective against the...
you can't absorb as much vitamin D and stuff.
Okay. And
So,
so the lighter the skin. So
The lighter the skin people would have survived longer, and then it means the lighter skin people having more babies with lighter skin, and then eventually like that. And
that-
even stuff like blue eyes. We both have blue eyes. That's a mutation. That's a genetic mutation.
And so would that suggest why cancer rates in Australia, for example, are so high, especially skin cancer, because
we're a white nation in the
White
sun.
nation
If Indigenous Australian skin cancer rates would be fucking minimal.
because all Indigenous countries that surround us are black
Yeah.
or very tan.
Think of what Indonesian people, people in Brazil, native Brazilians and stuff, like anyone around the equator, anyone in this part of the hot are dark. They're real dark. Anyone close to the poles are real light.
Wow. So that's why we're not meant to be here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're
have
not
you not
meant to be.
listened to every Australia Day? It's like you don't turn on the news when Australia Day's on. They don't want us here.
But as a
Yeah.
culture, we're not suited to living in Australia.
We're way more suited to a climate where it's light for 4 or 5 hours,
because even
cold for the rest of it.
even if you were born here, your family hundreds of years have been living here, and you're considered Australian, you're still from your lineage is still from the north.
Because we're talking about thousands of years of evolution that'll
you're
get
not
that. So even the fact if you go tanned, so a lot of things that's supposedly, especially for Europeans and stuff. So if you're of Gaelic or Scottish and stuff, that would have come from the Moors. So the Moors came out of Africa and then they went up through Spain and then they came through Spain through France and then into England and stuff. So anyone who's I'm English and they get a really good tan, it's because they've got African in them at some point. And that's what's making your skin go olive and darker. Like the Greeks have their real olive skin because they're closer to Africa. They're closer to those descendants and stuff. Yeah. So that's what, So if you're white as white can be, you don't tan, you just sunburn. You go bright red, you burn for a bit, and then you go back to being white. You know those people?
Yes.
They have no African in them at all.
That is me.
It's that's you. If you don't ever get a tan.
That's why I got that.
Oh my God.
See that?
Is that from skin cancer?
Yeah, I had a big... That's 15 stitches.
Bro.
And 15 stitches and 6 internal, I think. So
Yeah,
it's like
that's
20.
why you're getting that.
Yeah, and that one there.
Yeah, that is the
15.
sun. That's your body saying, move back to England.
I've got some good old skin cancers.
Go up to the little cold island. Dude, you've got some gnarly cuts. I saw that before. I thought you got knifed.
This one?
Yeah, I was going to ask you in the coffee shop in front of that girl so she'd think you're tough.
Yeah, no, I got skin cancer. And it's got a bit infected.
You're like a survivor.
Because I went and did, I'm silly, I did gym.
Are you not supposed to gym once you get cancer removed? Is that not on the pamphlet?
Just like when you got stitches in and you got 15 stitches in your arm, you probably shouldn't do gym where you're pumping your arms and swelling and then moving.
But why would you do that anyway? Why did you do that?
Oh, I left it like a few days. I left it like about 4 or 5 days, and then I did some light gym exercises.
You're a maniac.
And I've been swimming.
Oh, that's good for it, hey?
Well, I don't think that's too bad for it. The gym.
Do you want to know a fun fact about the pools? Or you don't want to know a fun?
Oh, go on, give me.
You know that smell of chlorine?
Mm-hmm.
Chlorine doesn't have a smell.
Oh, no.
Chlorine doesn't have a smell. You ever smelt chlorine? Doesn't have a smell.
Oh, no.
That smell you smell, that's piss and chlorine.
Oh, no.
So that smell, that's typically the smell of a pool, that chlorine.
Yeah.
No, that's urine and chlorine together.
Oh, no.
And if you think I'm just taking the piss here, Google that. But
taking the piss.
every pool you've ever been in smells like that.
Yeah.
Because every pool, there's levels of piss in it. So you just have to accept it. Every pool you've ever been in where you've smelt chlorine, that's piss.
So-
Chlorine doesn't have a smell.
So if I got a big tub of water.
If you had your own pool and
just
put the chlorine in, it wouldn't smell like a pool. It would not smell like your public pool. I'll bet you anything.
Oh, that's true.
It doesn't. It's piss. Piss and chlorine make that smell.
Oh,
That's fine.
No.
What do you think? You're getting in a bath with hundreds of other people. Like, I'm from Midland, dude. It's normal for us to see a poo floating in Swan Aquatic. Do you know how many times we've been told to get out of the pool because there's a poo floating in? Because it's Swan Aquatic in Midland.
Yeah.
There's the warm pool for the kids and then the cold lap pool. And it'd be really fun. You go from the cold pool to the warm pool and they both feel so extreme.
Yeah.
But the warm pool for the kids always would have a poop in it. To the
Yeah.
point where they wouldn't even remove you from it.
Oh, no.
Sometimes they'd be like, everyone out, there's a poo. And sometimes they'd be like, just watch out for the poo.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, sorry to ruin everyone's pool day. But you just have to accept it. That's just pool life, baby.
Oh.
But that's why there's so much chlorine. You're protected.
Yeah. I think I've got another cool story, actually.
I've got a mystery for you.
Oh, you got a mystery? You do a mystery.
Have you heard of the Mary Celeste? This is like a classic one, though.
Oh, no, go again. Sorry.
The Mary Celeste.
Oh, yeah. I have heard this, but regale me and the listeners.
So it's a fancy little boat all the way from Canada. Wow. What a magical land.
Yes.
America's hat.
Yeah.
Basically, it was a big old boat and it went out on a little voyage. And then one day, everyone disappeared on it. They just found the boat floating. Everyone had disappeared. There was no signs of struggle. There was no nothing. There was food on the table. Everyone had just gone.
Just gone.
Just ghost shipped it. But everyone was gone.
Yeah.
But there's no, the craziest bit, there's no signs of struggle. Like that, the abandonment, there was just nothing.
Yeah.
It had 1,700 barrels of alcohol still on it. It was just a like.
So, yeah. So, I mean, even
So if it was pirates-
piracy, they would have taken the alcohol.
Weird, hey.
Yeah, ghost ships are there's a couple that go through the Bermuda Triangle that they've found and whatnot. Just no signs of struggle. People, just everyone gone.
Yeah,
Just freaky.
I guess it shows like a lot of these mystery things. It just shows one person with ill intent can really get away with it. If there's no one there to stop you.
What do you think happened with something like what's it called, MH360, or is that what it was? MH
Is that the one that disappeared or the one that got shot down?
Malaysia Airlines, the one that disappeared.
See, and stuff like that. Like, do you think that that's a cover up things? Like, do you think it's one of those ones where they know and it's less drama just not saying? Like, there was an issue. You know, like, so Brad Pitt's character in Fight Club or Norton's character in Fight Club, his job is an insurance assessor. So he has to assess how much it would cost if we admit fault to this versus just pay out individual lawsuits and recall the product. That's someone's actual job. To be like, well, if we just let these cars keep crashing, X amount of people will die and it will cost us this much. If we recall it and save lives, it'll cost us this amount of money. It's cheaper to let people die. That's someone's actual job. So is that not maybe and you look at all the whistleblowers with Boeing that keep disappearing. Is this the first case of something went wrong with Boeing and Boeing's like, no, the plane disappeared. It wasn't this bolt that flew off the engine bay and exploded it. the plane disappeared. We never found it. Because you know what I mean? Now that there's issues with Boeing 15 years later and all of the whistleblowers keep disappearing and you're like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Is it easier to just claim the plane disappeared than to admit fault?
I do also love those ideas of like when they say there's a guy who's got a patent for a new cancer cure or something along those lines. I do love seeing those because they entice me and I totally believe them as well.
Yeah.
Like there's so much money in cancer, for example.
So much.
That there's a meme going around when you just hear that the guy behind you in the plane has a cure for cancer and he's got a shocked face. Like,
is that what one of the stories was? Was the guy with the cure for cancer on the plane?
No, the one there were people. I think it was actually, to be fair. It could have been cancer, but there was a whole lot of people from that going to a conference that was. I think it was based on cancer. I'm too long ago that I read up on that one. Could be a massive coincidence, but they were all on there.
Wow.
MH360 or 370 or MH370.
The fun thing about that, though, I guess that those theories, they stem from this whole idea because that would mean that the people in control have the cure. That's where that kind of stems from. That's why I think that an idea that it's like that's so enticing to us because it means that the powers that be have the cure for cancer. They just don't want you to have it because it makes them have more money. So when they heard that those people are getting close to the cure, kill them off. Because otherwise you're just taking the risk where it's like, wow, this sounds like promising research. Kill them off.
Well, I undoubtedly believe that cancer has been cured or the cure for cancer has been discovered.
Yeah.
In multiple ways. And I think...
The only reason I don't is just that one of the richest people, so many crazy rich people die of cancer.
Yeah.
That last one, that lady that ran... Imagine, this lady's 10 years younger than my mum and she ran YouTube and she's dead. What was the point? What was the point? You had all that money and you couldn't, like old mate Apple. You had all the money known to man. Apple has more cash than any other people in the history of the planet. If there was a cure for cancer, he would have bought it, right? But this cunt was eating like smoothies and eating apples and stuff.
Yeah.
Dead at 50. That's the only reason I believe maybe they don't have it because Warren Buffett's pretty old.
The interesting one, I'm not sure just being rich is enough.
It's the connection.
Yeah, or just even knowing. But I like even certain sound frequencies being able to disrupt the DNA and I've been looking into a bit of that of late, and that interests me. And that person died very quickly, and they took all their information as well. That should have been a mystery. I'm going to just get that up next episode.
Yeah, I was actually. Do you want me to do a lot of research on Nosferatu? No, that's the. Oh my God, that's not the guy. Nosferatu's devil. No, he's Dracula. The guy that had all the predictions. Do you know about this guy? He's a witch. He made all the predictions or whatever.
No,
and then he had to change them into riddles so then people wouldn't find out about them.
No, but
because he was so...
Nostradamus?
Nostradamus. That's who I'm talking about. Yeah, Nostradamus. Let's do a whole thing on him.
Oh, Nostradamus is great.
I'll get some things.
There's some really good ones with his. Yeah.
Because his was like they're going to kill me because of what I know. So he needed to hide what it was into like all these things.
He had a mirror that he looked into, eh?
I have no idea.
I think that's how he did it. I think he looked into a mirror. That was his method.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. This is probably the coolest one. You're going to love this.
I love things.
You're going to love this mystery. The Voynich manuscript. Have you ever heard of have you ever heard of the Voynich manuscript?
No, but I'm intrigued. Manuscript is such a fun word. They never put manuscript next to anything shit.
Oh, mate.
You know what I mean? It's always like, oh, mate, I guess, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so the Voynich manuscript is an illustrated codex, handwritten, and its unknown script referred to as Voynichese. You know Voynichese?
Is this the one and it's all crazy animals and stuff and the guy had a dream and he woke up and he wrote this all down from his dream and it's all like crazy animals and weird shit he saw in this thing?
Maybe. Potentially we can extend on that. But the vellum on which it's written has been carbon dated to about 15th century, so 1404 to 1438. And the stylistic analysis has indicated the manuscript may have been composed in Italy during the Italian Renaissance. While the origins and authorship and purpose of the manuscript are still debated, hypotheses hypothesis range from the script of natural language, constructed language, or an unread code or cipher, and other form of cryptography. Is that it? Cryptography?
Yeah. Cryptography?
Cryptography.
It's always fun with words. You just pick which one you got to hold into, which syllable you're going to hold on to.
Or perhaps a hoax. It could be a hoax, is the other thoughts. But currently there's no translation offered on no context needed. And context is needed for both to entertain or eliminate any of the possibilities. So they don't have any context, no translation. It is just a manuscript of fauna, like fantasy fauna.
Yeah.
And flora. All these plants that don't exist, like, is this the sort of stuff that you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the manuscript. That's the one.
Yeah.
And then like animals that don't exist.
Yeah.
Like just the craziest like.
So is this the work of a science fiction genius that's didn't leave his name as the author? Or?
Yeah, was it the first things of science fiction? Like, as we're talking about in the Renaissance period, people are being so like artistic and expressive, and they're finally doing things like that and stuff. And is this the guy that's just making things up? Do you know what I mean? Like, there was that guy, C.S. Lewis, was it? The guy that wrote Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and he's got the Wabberjacky or whatever. He's got a whole story where none of the words make any sense and stuff.
Yeah.
But he wrote that with the purpose of like, hey, this is a writing exercise of none of this makes sense. Was this guy just doing that 300 years earlier? And because it's removed and it's in Italian, we're like, what is this crazy man? Where he was like trying to invent Dungeons and Dragons. Or I heard one where it's like someone had things where it was like, it was, because you can see with some of the pictures, there's like a man laying down, and then on the other side of it is a man inverse to it, and then all the things are crazy. So it's like that someone's saying that like he was dreaming of going to this place and writing them all down, and like he was traveling there or something. Like,
it's a
how cool, hey?
Yeah. I just love the unknown, like the fact that is a book that's written in the 1400s.
Yeah.
And it has no author, no context, no way to understand the cipher.
But it's like almost like a scientific journal on like, hey, this and the power. The thing is like the detail. It's like written like, so have a plant broken down, and it'll be like, if I was to write it down, you'll be like, this is the stem, this is there, this is where this goes there. And it's got all the things, the documentation and the things, but none of the words make any sense. And the picture's not of anything you've ever seen before. So you're like, what the fuck is this? Is this cool art, or did he have his own language? Was this guy just an illiterate Italian? Yeah. And this was like how he thought he was writing his shit down?
Yeah. And it's just, it's a fucking interesting one, because it's not like it was just discovered. It wasn't.
I love old text like that where you put like, what is it? And where did he find it?
I think it was acquired. So passed down. Last one. This is the Shugborough inscription. Have you heard of the Shugborough inscription?
No, sir.
So it's an 18th century shepherd's monument in Staffordshire in England. And it just looks like a normal monument from afar, but when you get closer, you notice a curious sequence of letters: DOUOSVAVVM, which is a code that has remained unresolved for years. Some of the experts speculate that the code could be likely a clue left behind by the Knights Templar regarding the whereabouts of the Holy Grail, and no one has been able to crack the code.
Okay, so do they know when they built the statue? Like, they know the...
It's an 18th century.
So that's the 1700s it was built. Knights Templar was like 1,000 years before that.
But that's potentially like the
passed
the Knights
down.
Templar still exists today. So
that's so fucking cool. I love those type of. I love things where it's like hidden in plain sight.
Yeah. Well, like what's the and they've been blown up since. But the what were they called, the stones in the US?
Oh, and they're like guidestones.
The Georgia guidestones.
Yeah, and it's like the population can't be over X amount, and the population's doing this.
And so, like, I look at those guidestones, and like 8 or 9 out of the 10 commandments that they've got on there, you're like, I like it. It's very nice, except for the population.
The population one's a scary bit, because literally, there's enough land. Now, maybe I'm fucking completely off base here. There is enough land on planet Earth for everyone to have a section.
Yes.
There actually is. If you think of how much land we don't use at all,
So much.
through all of Europe, all of Kazakhstan, all of Asia, all of Australia, you could
itself.
set. If we worked out how to do terraforming, where you can just turn everything into nice, lush soil, everyone could be given their own plot of land as a farm, and the world would be in peace.
They were going to do that in Australia.
Is what terraform and make everyone out.
They were going to run a line of a lake, and they were going to join the north and south of Australia through a lake system that goes into, I think, Lake Eyre or Eiger.
Yeah.
And basically through having water surrounding it would actually make it greener in certain areas, and then provide
Let's do that.
a land. I don't know why they went against it, but probably Aboriginal land or something like that. But
This is my dead desert.
yeah.
You're not going to help humanity here.
Well, yeah, that does. Yeah, it's interesting.
Did you see that? Did you see the Indigenous elder who stopped the gold mine, the $1 billion gold mine?
No.
This 80-year-old white lady.
No.
I'm so sorry. She probably has a lot of whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just saw the picture and I was like, come on. There's all these Indigenous, I don't know enough about the story. I just saw the picture, but there's Indigenous elders that are mad about it, and you're like, yeah, who's this lady? Whatever. I guess you can, that's part of the stolen generation. That's why there's Indigenous elders who look white.
Yeah.
But I'm always suspicious. It's always like when you see a male feminist who's like you're like, there's something dodgy going on there. And then if you see like a white Aboriginal elder, I'm like, come on.
And so
But also I don't know enough, so I'm sorry for saying that.
But those sorts of ideas are very interesting when they when like the depopulation theories come in, and you see like one of the biggest theories with the COVID jab was like, and the conspiracy side of things was, it's a depopulation tool. And then if you go down the idea of what Satanists believe, like true, real Satanists, they believe in karmic retribution. So they believe if they tell you what they're going to do, they are no longer held accountable for what they've done, and they won't be karmically tied to your misfortune and your downturn. So whether or not that's true or not doesn't matter. They believe it is true. So the people the theory is the people who are in charge are of the ilk of Satanism, and so they'll put things in Hollywood movies. They'll put things in plain sight for you to see. So it's them saying, look, we're going to do this, and if you buy into it, it's your fault.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying I'm saying it's fucking wrong because Satanists are doing that. But the theory is that, for example, the COVID jab was not a depopulation tool. It was a sterilization tool for future generations, so they could still control the population. And with 3 generations not able to repopulate, we would come down to those numbers that they want us to be at. And then going back to the Satanist idea, is chucked in so many movies leading into COVID. One of the things was they didn't say the COVID jab, they said the polio jab. They had put it in that, and where 90% of the world was having that. So if you believed
but
in
people
that,
are getting born now,
yes, of course. But
okay.
So and that's what I'm saying.
I feel
it's
you,
the theory. So the Satanists want to do that. That's how they'll do it. And that's if you were to believe the Georgia Guidestones as an elite's way of communicating to you, doing the same thing, we're telling you what we're going to do. That's how they karmically get around it.
Yeah. How interesting.
That's just, I'm not just saying that's true or not, but that's just how they think, and that's how those sort of theories evolve. But I genuinely believe that there are Satanists at the top of certain levels of society, and they do believe that. So they believe if they communicate what they're going to do to you.
Have you seen the Satanist beliefs and stuff though? Like, do you understand
some of them?
Because a lot of it, I don't know. From what I get of it, the main idea is like, if you're Christian and you follow God, you're subservient to God. You put your head down, like it even says in like the first thing that like God created man, all that sort of bullshit and stuff.
Yeah.
Where Satanism is the idea that you yourself as a God, like you look up and you're equal to God. You are your own master, blah, blah, blah. It's just a lot of the patterns of what controlling the population and all that. It's not a Satanist thing. It's they very much do unto others and just worry about your own shit, and you do your own. You are your own. That's not a people that control the masses. The people that control the masses are the people who write books that tell you this is how you're supposed to live your life, like this guy. And if you don't do it this way, you're not going to get into our secret club when you die. And do you know what I mean? Like even like it's globalism and like government thing. It's so much more of a Christian or Muslim.
Well, what if
religious idea?
Satanism is the one that's been demonized by society
literally.
and ends up being the rebellion.
I just
Like, I'm not
changed the
saying
name.
it is, like-
it just sounds so evil and like so much because it's tied into it. But is there not just a religion where you can just believe in yourself? That's essentially what it is, right?
We should do an episode on Satanism.
Yeah, but I don't want to go to hell.
Yeah.
That's where I always go back to it. Like, I believe in Jesus enough where, like, if that gun to my head, yes,
Yeah.
Jesus is my Lord and Savior. But also, I don't know. It's scary.
Scary. Like, understanding these things is interesting to me.
Yeah. For
Like,
sure.
the thing that scares me the most to really look into is gin. Not the
Yeah,
distillery.
of the Islams. The Islams. Because they even mention it. They even mention in their like origin story. So like God gave us dominion over the plants and the animals. But in the Islam one, it's like God the plants, the animals, and the jinn.
Yeah.
And like they believe that they're all here right now. And like
Yes.
you can there's a whole book in their Bible called Jinn.
Oh,
That's crazy.
And the gin just, it really eeks me.
Maybe that's the sound.
Oh, classic. How long has this episode gone for? It's nearly 2 hours.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, good. That's all good. Bloody awesome. That's enough mysteries for today. Unless you got any other mysteries you want to. No.
Thank you
all
so
good.
much, my friend.
Anything you want to plug again?
No, just if you're in Perth, come to quizzes. If you're not in Perth, just wait for me to bring quizzes there.
Perfect.
Love you. Oh, no, actually, I'm playing Family Feud in October the 11th. We're going to do a live Family Feud, October the 11th. Come check that out.
I love it because it comes down to your assessment of street smarts and what everyone would think.
Yeah, and especially with our one too, it's kind of handy because we build it with our quiz. So with the 15 different quizzes, we get about 300 late. So it's the people answering the survey are playing the thing back. So hopefully, if you've ever come to one of our quizzes, you would have played our. But yeah, either not, just come and play. That's Perth people answering, and there's going to be questions like that. You know what I mean?
So you've built it.
Yeah, we've been building it
this
the
isn't
last year.
set-
No, this isn't off the tee. This is every single week at our quiz. We play Family Feud. We put out a survey. The people playing will answer the survey. Then the next week we're going to do those. So you can manipulate it if you want. If you're boisterous enough at the Balmoral to tell everyone, say Leonardo is the best Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
So then the next week, like
So what is it, like 100 people or like 50 people were asked this, or how many?
yeah.
people
So when
come
we
to
play
quiz?
it live, it's
Yeah.
some of our responses up to 300 people.
Oh,
so
wow.
like it'll be
Okay.
like we asked 300 people.
Yeah.
Like
I love it. We asked
What's something you put in your mouth?
263 people.
yeah, literally like that. And then it's like, so I figured when we're doing it live, we can have a shorter version than the big game. So we'll have like your
love it.
family can be you and your mate, you jump up versus someone else, and then we'll put up on the thing.
So cool.
Like, yeah, so we're going to trial it on October the 11th at Side Splitter. If it goes well and it's nice and fun, we'll do it at Fringe next year.
Fuck yeah.
But if not, just bloody watch it on TV. Fuck you. No, I love you.
Speaking of Fringe coming up, with me and Wolfie are going to start planning ahead and booking in our room. So I know a few comedians actually listen. So we are going to be putting our room up as a room that you can use. So if you want to do solos or shows there, we're going to have an inside room and a beer garden. And we'll probably go about a 70-seat max. So if you're a comedian who wants to do that. But regardless, make sure all our listeners, when you're coming up to Fringe in January, February, that sort of time, so plenty of time, make sure you're looking for the events that are at our venue.
And also, even if you don't want to see our shows in particular, we can tell you which shows to avoid.
Yes. Yeah. I will vet who comes through our room as well.
Really?
Yeah, like I won't just say yes. Yeah, you can have your show at our.
Yeah,
I'd
100%.
like our
You got to have a
venue.
quality control.
Yeah, I want a bit of
The
quality.
festival doesn't have one, so
Yeah, exactly. So I want our room to have a bit of quality control. Me and Wolfie are going through it over the next week or so, booking in. The Laugh Mob crew have already taken some spots, which is great.
Slay, that's
Love
handy.
Legacy, yeah. So Legacy and the lads doing a few shows there, so that's going to be fun. What have I got coming up? Hosting a few quizzes, but they're all corporates. I don't know. I got gonged the other night. What the fuck? I went to gong, and I haven't been gonged for, two and a half
gong
years.
jar? What was the bit that gong
Nah,
jar?
look, I'm not gonna blame anyone. Like I just used normal material. Like I just went to go get up. I actually wanted to go hang out with comedians and mates and end up being like all open micers that I've never really met. So I actually was like,
literally why I don't want to go back and do stand up. I'm only doing my own gigs because like to show up and then a bunch of people and then the way that they treat you and it's like, oh, I've got more awards than you have minutes of jokes. Like don't even look at me, mate. I know that sounds so arrogant, but when you're dealing with some open micer who's like, oh, who are you? And you're like, go fuck yourself.
well, I wasn't. I didn't mind hanging out with everyone and meeting the new people, but it was more like I went there specifically to go, I'll go see some comedians like Wolfie or someone will be hanging around.
Fun.
It'll be like I needed to kill 2 hours. That's all it was. So I was like, I'll go do a gong.
Well, if you ever on a Thursday night want to kill 2 hours, Planet Royale is a quiz. If you want to come to Planet Royale.
I should have done that. And then I just popped in and there was no one there and everyone was bombing, like fucking bombing.
And I can do this.
No, I didn't take it the negative way. I didn't go, oh, they've set the tone bad for the night. Like everyone was
Bombtown.
Fucking disgracefully. And there was one or two that went okay, got through, and even they were like, you could feel they were pushing to get there. And then I got on and I was like, yeah, going fine. Yeah, like 2 minutes in and I'm like, yeah, this is all good. And then I did a joke about ketamine and just didn't go well. And it's usually my killer. It's a reference to me having a big dick and I didn't...
like a horse?
Yeah, it's a ketamine joke.
Oh, that's funny.
It's funny. It's a fucking good joke. And then I make reference... I forgot to add in the reference at the end that I have a tiny little dick and it makes it a bit more palatable. And so all the women in the thing...
Oh, yeah. You just come up being like, I've got a big dick. Yeah,
so,
you've got 3 minutes to impress them and you thought you'd go with, I have a massive
Well, that
dick.
was about 2.5 minutes
I have a big
like,
dick and I love drugs. This will win them over.
I thought I'd already won him over, so it was like... But anyway...
Did you try dancing?
No. I'm thinking of getting into music comedy again. Something I always loved. I loved playing comedy songs when I was young.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start...
Tell me more.
I don't care that some of the comedians will think it's hack by playing a guitar and singing songs. I love it, and you can't follow a musical comedian.
Mate, most of them are hack anyway. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Mate, I've just noticed I've been away from comedy for a little
comedians?
bit. Yeah. I've been away from comedy for a little bit and now I'm dipping my toe back. And the amount of comics that have punchlines that are the same punchlines as other people's jokes is kind of fucking disgusting.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Perth comedy's gone into a little self-dick-sucking hole. So if it means that you have to come out and do something different and play a song, do it.
I think I'm also... I just like it. I find it fun. I love comedy songs.
Yeah,
and everyone loves a sing-along and like funny songs.
Who did you listen to a lot when you were younger? Who was your...
Tripod.
Okay, yeah, Scared with Little Guys, that kind of thing.
Tenacious D.
Tenacious D, all right. Weird Al? Did you ever listen to Weird Al's Running with Scissors album and stuff?
Yep. I listen to them all. I love comedy.
Bo Burnham?
And I don't want my whole set to be comedy songs. I'd like to...
But it's fun.
If I had a 15-minute spot, I'd do one song. Like, I still want to do largely stand-up, but I want to just incorporate
the things you have to accept, though, with it, just from, just watching it, and it is a giant act out. So once you start, you're in that bit. So if they're not on board, you have to play that whole 2-minute song, smile and being like, my dick's made of bacon or whatever the fuck the song is.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would eat my soul. You know, when you're halfway through an act out and they don't like it and you just pull out, you're like, well, I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah. Imagine you have to keep singing and dancing.
Yeah.
No. So that in a sense, no. But also if you do it properly, it can be hacked because you can make so much emotions with just a couple of notes. Instead of having to bring them there with words, you can get them. But that just means you can do more elevated shit.
100%.
That means you can be a bit smarter or you're a bit more talent, do more layers to it.
Well, think about all music makes you feel what they're sort of saying.
Yeah.
And it's almost like an unknown understanding of what they're trying to get at.
Yeah.
And they don't have to explain it correctly. You just go, I get what they're talking about. And that's what I think you can do with humor and comedy and something. If every line is a punchline, or every second line is a punchline, or I thought there was going to be a punchline there, and then you throw another one in the song, bang.
That's literally why Stora's stuff is genius, because he's literally, the songs are just punchlines that rhyme.
Yes.
So you're doing a 3-minute bit about a premise, and then you're making all the jokes rhyme with the last joke.
And that's
so much more talented than just going up there and being like, fucking 10 seconds.
Which is why what Delby does is so impressive, because he raps it in the moment as well. So that's why people love that. And I want to do it.
I would love if you started doing a rap and you got good at it, how mad he would get. Shout out Delby if you listen to himself. He'd be so angry, especially if you were
I can do it in song format, no problem. I used to do it all the time. We used to do it in the backyard. Every night when we get on the piss with the footy boys, I'd get the guitar out and you'd just make up random stuff.
Oh my God, it'd be so
I
good
can,
if
I can sing it.
you and
I don't
Jamal
sing.
should do your own Who's Rhyme.
Because I can't sing, but like I can talk,
Neither can
sing,
most people.
and I can rhyme and make it make sense, no problem. But rapping, because Delby's like bum 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 bum, like you can go bang 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 bang. I can't do that.
Yeah.
But I can rhyme, no problem.
You can
That's
be like
fucking
the R&B version.
yeah. Well, Delby's just his brain works really quickly. Like mine works quickly, but I just need a bit more of a slower. I need a slower.
Like his
tune.
Red Flag Girl song and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun, and it's how happy people are when they hear that song and the stuff. Like
Yeah,
that.
it's
Same
just the
with
reason
Sons
why
of Fred.
crowd work works so well, because it's happening in the moment. Like, wow, he just said that. It doesn't even matter what you said if it was good or not. It's the fact that it just happened.
Try and follow Sons of Fred, or try and follow like Janelle when she gets the guitar out. Like, you can't, because everyone's just gone from this high of like fun.
Oh, yeah. Especially what it's Sons of Fred closer when they do the Time of Your Life big like. How are you going to get up and do a joke after that? And then they'll be like, I don't care about you or your thoughts, dude. That guy just jumped in that other guy's arm.
Yeah. Or
I don't give a fuck.
Or Mickey J's Wrecking Ball. There's no way you go on after that, after like tears, crying tears, like the emotion that the music brings.
Yeah.
The epicness,
The physicality of it and
everything. There's no way, even if you hate that stuff or not, there's no way you're following it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'm fine to add in some music and have a bit of fun. And like it's not, I want it to be funny, but I want people to smile.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the music does.
Good.
It makes people smile and have fun and be like, I like that. That was fun.
And there's a level of it too that will be endearing if you're not that great at it.
Yeah, 100%.
So people like, I know Pony from the Motherhood. She always chucks in a song in her stuff. No one's ever been like, Pony's a great singer. Pony's a great act and stuff. But I've never watched her set and been like, you should cut that song.
Yeah.
She makes up a fun song and it's always about like something to do with the set. She's done it a couple of times in those Motherhood shows. Like the Motherhood would end with the song. And it's just something that elevates it, I think. And it shows
100%.
you not too... If you can't sing and then you're just having fun with it, no one's going to be like, that Branchy thinks he can sing. Do you know what I mean? But also you get the fun of singing to an audience and how... I think it's good. I wish I had the courage to, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't because of that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I would be doubting myself. People would think I'm taking myself too seriously. Or I've got a hell quality control problem.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, oh, no, that's shit. They'll hate that. Or I hate it. And
I'll
I'm not brave enough. So if you could be, fucking get it.
Yeah, I'll just write 2 or 3. I've got an old comedy song called Ball Men Have Dandruff. Might just expect. It's just so stupid, but it's funny. Where do you reckon they've got dandruff?
On their balls?
In their pubes.
That's silly. That's crabs.
Did you see that?
Yeah, you just kiss the mic real
I
aggressively.
just toothed the mic.
Have you done that while you're on stage?
Imagine.
Yeah, I've done it multiple times.
Have you?
Yeah, it makes me feel like the biggest goon in the world.
Oh, bang.
You just put the microphone too quickly in your mouth, then you have to talk like you didn't just hurt yourself.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Harnyanas, please join the Patreon. I'm going to start. So I'm here I'm coming into the studio like 3 or 4 days a week, and it's actually started to prove quite productive. And so with that, I'm actually going to start to, I'm going to do these little things that I was talking about before, where I find a topic that I want to discuss and do a quick little clip about it. But I'm also going to start doing some Patreon stuff, behind the scenes stuff, and just adding in some stuff. There is about a 5-minute discussion. I might talk to Joel. Joel Jamal came on a couple of weeks ago, and our producer at the time, Diogo, had to go to the toilet. So we just paused, and then we kept on chatting for 5 minutes while he was off in the toilet. And what we talked about there was very intense. And it's quite fine to reveal. I wouldn't put it in the podcast, but maybe for the Patrons, I might clip that little 5 minutes up and put that on Patreon.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll tell you what it was.
Yeah, I'm so intrigued.
After, because it is very real stuff. So it was interesting, but I might chuck that in. But anyway, Patreons, start getting on, because there's going to be a lot more content going out for the price of a coffee cup, $5 a month. Like, you're going to get extra content, and if not, you just
actually cheaper than coffee the way it's going.
Well, especially with small businesses being fucking royally screwed. But we're going to also make sure that we're putting stuff up to help out with that. But at the end of the day, you're just supporting the podcast. So, yeah. If we had even 1,000 people join at $5, that would be...
Oh, that's molto bene.
Molto bene. So
if you get that, I'm going to start a podcast.
Well, let's get 1,000 people joining at $5.
Let's get 5,000 joining at 1,000.
Well, actually,
No,
let's
okay,
get
that's good.
let's get another 10.
Yeah.
Another 10, please.
Thank
Joining
you so
at
much for
$5.
signing up. You're very important to
I
us.
love it. Anyway, love you, Cam.
Love you.
Do you want to come on next week or the week after, maybe? Like
If your
Delby-
guests don't hate me, I'll come with
No,
things.
It's,
Do it.
it's great. Yeah, we'll do a
Yeah, let's do Nostradamus or whatever.
Nostradamus special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hooroo.